Chapter 421 New title, Holy Emperor 2 more. Chatting with Luo Bing about the follow-up plan. Chen Mo also opened the trading platform casually. He hung a large number of artifacts on it, as well as the corpses of gods, as well as related creations of the Patila civilization. These are good things and very welcome. In fact, there are already many star gods waiting. As soon as Chen Mo put it up, someone placed an order immediately. After all, not everyone is like Chen Mo, who sells these tons of resources as ordinary resources. For many Star Soul Masters in the Star Soul world, these are high-level resources. Of course, Chen Mo isn't all about selling stuff. The current income from selling things, in his case, will soon become a niche income. Pulling people into the group and letting them buy the knowledge of their own planetary upgrade system is the business that makes a lot of money. Chen Mo will not leave this matter behind. After such a big battle before, to reach the Patila civilization, just to earn that little record. It's not just to cause a stir in the Star Soul world. Now is the 30th time to test the effect. Immediately afterwards, Chen Mo posted the Sacred Planet plan and some of his low-level planetary system knowledge. These, everyone can buy. But if you want more, you have to go through his review and join the sacred system. In terms of knowledge use, the knowledge created by Chen Mo must be limited, and even resources and equipment must be limited. At the same time, the main planet must build a semi-permanent portal leading directly to Holy Terra. In addition to these, Chen Mo also contacted the goddess of Starlight to fill up all the discounts that should be given to the other party. At the same time, he said that he must hurry up on the research progress. After all, in the next 10 days, he must come up with some research results, otherwise, the other party will go crazy. Of course, before that, Chen Mo believed that he had already promoted the energy network. Starlight Goddess will not compete with him in this regard. This is the first time for Chen Mo to try such a big handwriting. Try to monopolize the definition of a certain knowledge, a certain concept. From now on, the energy network Dao will represent him in the Star Soul world. This thing is defined by him. Anyone who uses it will be reminded that this is the creation of the star god Chen Mo. If you want to obtain relevant knowledge, you must either be rewarded by the Federation, or pay a large amount of money to Chen Mo after your own strength rises. In short, this is the strongest step to deeply influence the Star Soul world. Chen Mo felt that no matter how many things he sold and how much knowledge he had before, he was not as good as this step. Ding! Your primary knowledge, energy transformation of the planet, was purchased by Star God Og Wang. Ding! Then, Chen Mo took a look at the same trading platform. It was unexpectedly discovered that there was actually a star god buying his knowledge. Involuntarily, a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. These star gods have their own way, but it is also very good that they can fully adopt his model in the new planet and subsequent development. Of course, this can only partially affect the star gods. After all, they have accumulated too much before. Apart from making more money from them, Chen Mo's influence is actually limited. The real big heads are those Star Soul Masters and newcomers who have just developed. The road after them all have to follow themselves. The money sold to the star god's knowledge was just used to build a portal to the newcomers. I could probably build at least 10,000 additional portals. Before, relying on myself, I could only build about 1,000. The growth is truly astonishing. Chen Mo did some calculations by himself, and he was a little dazed when he saw the rocket-like trading volume on the trading platform. This speed far exceeded his imagination. I crushed Patila before, and then the goddess of Starlight took the platform. It is true that the effect is great. Through this war, the benefits I can obtain in the future are astronomical. It is enough to satisfy my follow-up research on the construction of the Temple of Heaven star area and the Energy Network channel. Well, I guess it can. Considering that money is always not enough to spend, Chen Mo decided to be conservative. Even if the money is not enough, he still has a way. That is to use the energy webway and start making money. Or, let the goddess of Starlight bear more research costs, as well as find the core of Nesser, and clear the surrounding forces similar to the Temple of Heaven, and the goddess of Starlight can also bear it. In short, whether it is saving money or making money, he has many ways. As for whether the goddess of Starlight will agree. These are all the contents of the agreement, and she also said before that the investment can be increased, as long as the speed is increased. Chen Mo has no doubts about the powerful power and wealth of the goddess of Starlight. Chen Mo, look at the War Zone channel. Now you are a big boss who can say nothing. The real kind. Luo Bing looked at the War Zone channel and couldn't help but pursed his lips and smiled. As for the internal situation of the Chen Mo support group, she blushed when she saw it. Forget it, it's too ugly, it's better not to show it to Chen Mo. Boss, Chen Mo couldn't help laughing, and then turned off the trading channel. Instead, let's see what status I currently have in the theater channel. In the past, there were not many people who called him Big Brother, but there were not many people who sincerely called him. This point, he does not care. From the very beginning, he came here to make money. It's a small accident that he has gained some fame now. But when he opened the theater channel, he was still a little confused. The aura of worship that came over his face almost made him think that he had become a counselor. It's outrageous. These star gods are worthy of being human beings, each of them is a talent, and their speech is much better than those whose strength is lower. Sure enough, bragging is also a manifestation of strength. Chen Mo is awesome. I am willing to contribute all my income to God. I only ask for a place for the Holy Terra. Brothers, the pilgrimage is about to begin. From today onwards, Mr. Chen Mo will always be the God in my heart. I admit that I spoke loudly before. The combination of Chen Mo and the goddess of starlight is absolutely invincible. Have you heard? The Energy Network channel seems to be only open to the inside, and the quota for the first time is 1,000 people. In the theater channel, countless people are discussing Chen Mo. And they are all star gods. They all thought about joining Chen Mo's sacred system. And everyone discussed a new title for Chen Mo, Holy Emperor. Many people call Chen Mo by this. Chapter 422. Luo Bing, whose shape gradually changes one more. However, unlike other things, the one-sided praise of Chen Mo is different. There are many different voices on the matter of the Energy Network DAO. Even, the sound volume is still a lot. There are also experts and scholars from the big library come out and criticize Chen Mo's technology. I think this is a replica of the goddess of the magic net. History has proved that this is something that cannot stand the test. 7 inches. Chen Mo has indeed gained a lot of knowledge from Ms. Magic Web, and has used Ms. Magic Web's trick before. This thing uses similar techniques. Because of that, I don't think it's such a big deal. What is really useful is the Nesser core. It may use zero-point energy. If it can be popularized, it will really benefit the entire Star Soul world. Whether it's the Magic Net or the Energy Net DAO, it's a monopoly in essence. And it's the most basic monopoly. I will protest like Parliament. Yes, the expansion of the energy grid is not allowed. The dog from the consortium upstairs has been identified. Stupid consortium, your monopoly of energy is not called monopoly, but others' monopoly is called it. They just promote it within their own system, so it's not a monopoly. Hurry up. The dog started barking, please don't take your seat. Looking around, many people are opposing the Energy Network DAO. It was similar to what Luo Bing guessed, and this really made some people anxious. Although Chen Mo has been very careful, he did not promote it outside the system, and only let out rumors. But it has already caused an uproar. Many consortiums are paying attention to Chen Mo's movements. Immediately, he ran out to object. Because the energy is controlled, the influence is terrible. This was originally their basic set. Energy block trading, high energy ore processing, 80% of the market is occupied by them. The benefits of this can be imagined. More importantly, influence. So they don't want Chen Mo to set foot in this area. Chen Mo didn't attract more than one person to join the Energy Network channel, and they lost a customer permanently. After all, who wouldn't love access to unlimited energy? Almost no one can refuse. It can be predicted that the future is very pessimistic. It is also because of this that even if there is only a slight disturbance, the consortium and many big families will be blown up. To be honest, Chen Mo was a little nervous this time. After all, they used to fight for interests outside, and internally, they were just being exploited by those talented newcomers and star gods. And only on the battlefield. So you don't really feel much pain. But if you say you want to uproot other people's property, then no matter the star god, they will resist fiercely. Many planets that mainly produce energy blocks even jumped up and scolded Chen Mo. Buckle down all kinds of big hats. Chen Mo was dumbfounded. But fortunately, everyone is just talkative, no one is really doing it. First of all, Chen Mo's strength is already very strong. Second, his influence is already very large. 3 years later, there were counselors and star gods who endorsed him. This has led to the current battle still staying on the internet. But how long can this last? Chen Mo felt that as long as he took his time and did not break away from the system of the Star Soul world, he could always maintain it within an acceptable range. Fortunately, the middle and lower classes are almost one-sided, supporting Chen Mo. These are the future of the Star Soul world. According to the mechanism of the Star Soul world, it can be predicted that even if Chen Mo dares not do anything, 10 years later, he will be able to respond to everyone in the newly formed Star Soul powerhouse system. FK off, which reform of the Star Soul world didn't lose any benefits? Why can't it be your consortium? Laugh at the downfall of the consortium. The energy market has long been unhealthy for me. The price of high energy minerals has been rising for a year and has never fallen. Shouldn't we develop? Whoever has the cheapest energy, I will use whose energy. The Star Soul world has the impetus to reform spontaneously, and no one can stop it, not even a member of parliament. That's right, I should be thankful that no one can completely control the laws, otherwise, the knowledge market would be full of backwaters. There was a lot of discussion among the people, from the promotion of Chen Mo's energy network, to the development system of the knowledge of the entire Star Soul world. In short, this time Chen Mo's matter caused an uproar. Whether it is breadth or depth, it is far beyond the previous. This is also something that Chen Mo did not expect. Whether it is for him or against him, the reaction is great. Holy Terra, inside the manor. Chen Mo at the center of the public opinion storm drank tea slowly. After turning off the theater channel, he turned his attention to the front line. At this time, the resistance of the Patella civilization had already collapsed. But Chen Mo's advancing speed remained unchanged. The next step is to press on step by step. There is still a battle between Patella civilization and him. And next time, the ownership of this star area will be decided, as well as the stronger fourth-level civilization. The loser either walks away in despair or surrenders. Of course, Chen Mo does not accept surrender unless otherwise ordered by the Federation. Anyway, so far, he has been using extinction mode. Chen Mo. Many Star Soul Masters have followed up, and they expressed their desire to continue the 50% model. Luo Bing said. Chen Mo has noticed this a long time ago, and now, everyone has a customary rule. If you want to contact Chen Mo, you must make an appointment in advance and contact Chen Mo's communication officer, Luo Bing. What do you think? Chen Mo asked with a smile. Luo Bing was taken aback. He didn't expect Chen Mo to ask her this question. I think it's pretty good. After all, don't you want to expand your influence? All these people join in, and you give both kindness and power. From now on, this war zone will be all up to you, but I think 50% can be reduced a little bit. 30% is not bad, because it's not that much of a gain. But your reputation will go up quickly. It is indeed time to adjust the benefits of cooperation. But not down, but up. Chen Mo said with a smile. Luo Bing is good at everything, but his skin is too thin. You can't be a good old man. What? I want to increase it to 70%. Quote. I 7 them 3. Chen Mo said with certainty. It used to be 5 to 5 because they thought my thigh wasn't thick enough, but now, with my thick leg, countless people want to hug it, and they still have to see my face. You have to know that it doesn't matter whether a profiteer is a profiteer or not. Word of mouth is the real word of mouth. It's not that he doesn't want word of mouth in the Star Soul world, but is the so-called good reputation, good people, useful. What he wants is the image of a strong man, who says what he says and does what he says, and he is absolutely trustworthy. Only in this way will someone be willing to cooperate with you. But no one will cooperate with you just because you sell things cheaply. There is no reason. Luo Bing nodded, somewhat understanding Chen Mo's idea. If you want to continue to follow along, you must follow Chen Mo's ideas. Adapt to Chen Mo's ideas and match the opponent's strategy. Be the shape Chen Mo needs. Chapter 423 Entering the Broken World. Extinction. 2 more. The situation on the battlefield is stable. In the war zone channel, the pot exploded again. 30 to 70. It depends on Chen Mo's face. How many people want to join the battle? The result is all. Yes, this is reality. The star gods settled their own accounts, and continued to fight the Patila civilization by themselves, and the exchange ratio was 1-1. The two sides come and go, and the strength is about the same. But with Chen Mo, following around, relying on the protection of Chen Mo's army, fighting guerrillas, the exchange ratio can reach 1-5 or even higher. What is this concept? The loss is directly reduced by 5 times. In other words, the profit is directly increased by 5 times. There is no need to worry about the risk of group destruction. Even if there is, it will be Chen Mo's group destruction first. Therefore, even if they get 30% of the income, they will earn more than themselves can earn. Then someone will come. Star gods are very real. Although many star gods yelled that Chen Mo would not give the rest of the star gods a chance to survive, they all signed the agreement honestly and joined Chen Mo's united front. Here, they can get Chen Mo's next plan to fight 947 without being accidentally injured. You can adjust your battle plan accordingly. Not long after, in the Broken World, Chen Mo's army finally encountered the enemy again. The Patila Legion here has nowhere to go. They thought they could deal with it and persisted until the reinforcements arrived. However, the number of Chen Mo's legions is really too much, and they can be found out easily with a blanket search. What's more, Chen Mo is no stranger to the environment inside the Broken World. He himself has several entrances to the Broken World, and he is cooperating with Lilia, a scholar of the Big Library, to conduct research and exploration. At this time, Oran also said softly at the side, "Master, our legion has invaded the Broken World and is about to cleanse all the forces of the Patila civilization inside. It's some sort of shipwreck. It's like some kind of huge living body." Okay. Sure enough, there are good things. Ding. It is detected that the host occupies a broken world, and the relic of another world is obtained. According to the system deduction, investigate the relic, conduct a complete analysis, and obtain the opportunity to evolve. Very good. The rest of the Patala civilization, except for the researcher, will not stay. Chen Mo couldn't help but sneer. The other party would never have thought that there would be such a day. However, judging from the fact that the war was so fierce and they refused to retreat, it could be judged that what was inside was indeed extraordinary. And the Patila civilization must have a clue. So Chen Mo thinks that through their research, the progress will be much faster. "Obey my master," Oran said respectfully. The next moment, the entrance to the entire Broken World was sealed. It's not big inside, it's enough for Chen Mo to explore. Fortunately, the ruins themselves have no signs of damage, maybe they are incapable. Of course, it may also be that the strategy I used to confuse them took effect, causing them not to want to die. Chen Mo soon got the preliminary investigation report of the whole Broken World. From above, although the entire dilapidated world is still disintegrating, a large amount of matter in the form of light and heat is constantly throwing to this universe. But after all, it can last for a while. At least 3 months. This is enough for Chen Mo to analyze the inner creation. At that time, you can get a new evolution opportunity. As long as he succeeds this time, Chen Mo thinks, the core ability of his mushroom dodge race, growth and devouring, will be further improved. Not only that, but the Patila civilization has indeed seized a lot of dimension guns this time. Chen Mo looked at the information and couldn't help smiling. This is a sum of money for him. You can start infection control directly, and then make this weapon in large numbers. With this, next time I go to Broken World, see who is unhappy, and directly disintegrate the whole world. Fighting for consumption, he never underestimated others. Dimension gun, there is still a chance to evolve. I have a hunch that occupying the entire Broken World this time will bring great rewards. In addition, a lot of useful knowledge can also be extracted from the heads of the researchers of the Patila civilization. With this knowledge, the Patila civilization will not be my opponent. Coupled with evolution, my strength will definitely be improved by then. More worlds, more creatures, it is not impossible to help me directly climb to the high-level star god. Borrow the head of Patila civilization. I don't believe it anymore. I've brought down another civilization abruptly. Isn't it enough to get the attention of the world's laws? Even if these attentions are not enough to become a member of parliament, with such a huge territory, I can forcefully increase my influence in the Star Soul world. Chen Mo thought carefully. Time is running out, and he has to take a little risk. You can't just wait for the time on the attribute to jump, and then act in a hurry. You must take the initiative and seize the initiative. No matter what, he is only eligible to take the next step if he has gained the dominance in the Star Soul world. Otherwise, everything is false. Not to mention anything else, there are obstacles to the promotion of the energy network DAO alone, and some vested interests want to oppose him. You said Chen Mo left the Star Soul world. That's even worse. The next day, he will be treated as a star thief by the Star Soul world, and there will be no scum left. This fortress can only be breached from the inside. Of course, Chen Mo doesn't want to break anything, he wants to integrate all available forces. Patila is also one of them, but if the other party refuses to cooperate, it can only be completely integrated into knowledge, packaged into nourishment and various weapons, and linked to the trading platform. After receiving the latest target, Lan on the side was shocked. Master, our next stage is to completely occupy the Patila sector. Oran was shocked. This mission is too wide. It was difficult for her to adapt for a while. After all, the change in consciousness can't keep up with the increase in strength. Chapter 424 Collapsed World, Energy Tide. One more. Relax, my plans are all within reason. Maybe it seems a bit radical to you, but that's because my strength has grown so fast. Chen Mo said with a smile. At that time, it is acceptable to attack the Patila civilization and suffer some failures. But as long as he got the planet, he got the attention of the law of the world, or he was promoted to a high-level star god, then the material losses suffered by these failures are simply more than one mention. On the side, Lu also kept an eye on Chen Mo's movements. In other words, her Angel Legion is acting as part of it. Therefore, she naturally knew a little about Chen Mo's plan. The entrance to the broken world is closed. It seems that you have completely occupied there, congratulations. It's just the next .do we still have to move forward. Will it advance a little too fast, and the Patila civilization will definitely have a terrible counterattack by then. Besides, our battle line will be stretched very long, and progress may be slower. Luo Bing said with some worry. She has also commanded many battles herself, and some judgments as a commander are still required. The rest of the star gods will assist us, as long as they are not the main force, they are still very reliable. On this point, Chen Mo has his own considerations. As for the Patala civilization counterattack you mentioned, there is no need to be afraid. Soon I will be able to suppress their trump card, the god-level teleportation. Chen Mo said. At this point, his space evolution has been completed. Ding. According to the system deduction, using the leader of the Patila Legion as the evolution carrier, you chose to evolve the space gene, and the evolution was successful. Your space gene is more powerful. You gain a powerful space penetration ability. Combined with the gravity ability, you can quickly block space and make extremely fast leaps. Block the space. After possessing this ability, Chen Mo will not be able to rush into the Patala army that fears the gods. And the Patila Legion attacking from a light year away is not worth fearing at all, and at least a week has passed by the time they reach his evolution. And 1 week is enough for Chen Mo to drive them to death several times. Now, even part of the loss that was estimated just now, I am afraid that there is no need to pay. Chen Mo couldn't help laughing. On the contrary, the ability of extremely fast warp is of little use to him. Not only that, such a powerful space blocking ability, coupled with the ghost cannon, my ability to destroy portals and space rifts, has also reached a new height. Even the top gods can't even think about it in front of me, turn on any teleportation. It can be said that from two aspects of space and gravity, the possibility of superluminal speed is completely locked. Hee. Pull the opponent to the same speed level as me, and then rely on the number to beat the opponent. Chen Mo feels rascal just thinking about it, but he likes it. Complete space blockade. Or a large area. Luo Bing opened his mouth wide. This is too strong. What she didn't know was that Chen Mo had genetically suppressed the Patila civilization long ago. The only thing I'm afraid of is teleportation. This point has now been solved with the help of the evolution number and the space gene, so it is naturally unnecessary. If you still dare not be reckless, then there is no need to mess around. Of course, I'm still making progress. Chen Mo nodded his head as a matter of course. This scene directly left Luo Bing completely speechless. Is this a question of progress? You couldn't do it just now, you can do it now. You call this progress? This is obviously a leap. However, she thought about it carefully. If this could be achieved, the biggest gap between Chen Mo and the Patala civilization would be bridged. Between, that is, the half-open level. And Chen Mo has countless legions. Even if it is slightly disadvantaged, as long as the Patila civilization can't run away, it will still be beaten by Chen Mo. Excluding the advantages of space technology, the Patila civilization has no other advantages for me, and it can even be said that they are all disadvantages, and in addition to space blockade, my evolution will also be equipped with more weapons. The big killer, magic judgment, will also be installed. Quote. Chen Mo continued. You must know that the magic power judgment of the Bastion still uses the imitation Nesser core, and it needs the help of tentacles that absorb matter to obtain enough energy and then continuously release the terrifying air level. And the full version of Nesser's core doesn't need so much troublesome equipment support, it can be expanded directly. At that time, with countless giant swords in hand, it is easy to use the huge energy to crush the enemy's attack. In short, whether it is high-end or low-end combat power, Chen Mo is not afraid. He fights against the outside world and has an advantage that others do not have. That is, he doesn't need to completely crush the opponent's combat power at all levels. 0 for flowers. As long as it can crush the middle and low-level combat power, it is enough. Generally speaking, the combat power of a civilization is in the shape of a pyramid. The more powerful, the fewer the numbers. Chen Mo ignored them, just wiped out most of them, and just eroded and occupied the planet. Don't come up, Padilla civilization. It's okay for the whole family to run with the planet. If you dare to come up, Chen Mo will keep them safe and tell them to come and go. Boom, boom. The energy tide like a supernova explosion spreads wave after wave, causing waves in space. Intense rays and energy tides are erupting in areas close to the projection of the broken universe. This is extremely fatal to ordinary life forms. Even Chen Mo's ordinary army exploded in pieces, and the matter in them was also shattered by the energy tide. However, some ghosts wandered back and forth in it, and they had a very pleasant life. They love this high-energy environment. Inside the broken world, the battle is going on fiercely, which has caused the entire space to become more unstable, so it is disintegrating at an accelerated rate. The energy tide is a phenomenon that is manifested in the universe where Chen Mo lives. When the time comes, the Temple of Heaven may receive such an impact. So this time, it happened to be Chen Mo's observation sample to see how lethal it really is. There was a planet that was swept and hit by such a shock wave, and the atmosphere of the entire planet was evaporated. In an instant, it became a dead star, and there was no possibility of life being born on it. What a terrible power. Easy to destroy a planet. This is the energy contained in the universe itself. Next to him, with the help of the Legion, Luo Bing, who witnessed all this with his own eyes, was shocked. She could see very clearly that countless legions were turned into ashes before they could evacuate in time, and even many of them hiding behind the planet were affected. The energy directly evaporated the matter, and the entire planet seemed to be roasted and smoked. All the water was squeezed out in an instant, and then it was black and shiny like a briquette, which was caused by the complete crystallization of the appearance. The power possessed by the universe itself is really terrifying. How powerful would a broken civilization be if it could destroy such a universe? She couldn't help thinking of this question, and then took a deep breath. The gods are powerful, but they are just swaying in the universe. Just now, being swept by the energy of the collapse of the universe, her angel didn't even snort, and died on the spot. Chapter 425 The news of the Devourer of Dimensions reappears. 2 more. Yeah, so we're far from strong enough. The giant sharks in the sea are ferocious. No matter how powerful they are only so powerful in the sea. Chen Mo glanced at Luo Bing and said with some emotion. Although the other party has not yet noticed the possible danger, but he is worthy of being a genius, and has already sensitively realized the possible problems behind it. This further confirmed Chen Mo's thoughts, and the MPs should have prepared their own response plans. And the implementation time was longer than he imagined. Of course, no one can say clearly whether it is effective or not. Judging from the sudden increase in time, last time, maybe it's the effect. This is just a broken world. If a large number of such broken worlds fall into our world, won't it cause countless terrifying energy tides, and will the entire universe usher in a catastrophe? Luo Bing said with some worry. Compared with this, the September 20th war between civilizations seems to have become somewhat irrelevant. That's not enough. Chen Mo shook his head and said, compared to the vastness of the universe, the number of broken worlds is always limited, but other civilizations continue to use weapons like dimension guns, and even try to modify the cosmological constant. The universe is facing the greatest crisis of destruction. Chen Mo doesn't know how this universe will end, but the various traces of war in the broken world are engraved in the laws. That is to say, at least the destroyed universe has experienced brutal wars, and these battleships are not just based on general energy and material levels. The damage to the universe is really too great. At this time, a spaceship rushed out of the broken world. The opponent's shield has been broken, and the entire spaceship disintegrated instantly. But there are still a few strong ones flying out. It's from the Patila civilization. They rushed out of the siege. Luo Bing's expression froze. Being able to break out of the broken world, this ability is amazing. It is also a very powerful character in the Patila civilization. At least in terms of understanding of the broken world and the application of its rules, it is top-notch. Otherwise, it would be impossible to break through the siege in an instant and reach the normal universe. The other party must have borrowed some characteristics of the broken universe. And this knowledge, even for us, is very precious. Even if you don't need it yourself, it will be sold to the big library for a sky-high price. Very valuable individual. We should arrest them. Luo Bing suggested it immediately. Of course she couldn't knock knowledge out of the other person's mind, but she knew that Chen Mo might have a way. Even if Chen Mo doesn't have it, there are people in the Star Soul world who have this knowledge. Time to spend some money. You are right in your analysis. Chen Mo nodded. However, I will not let anyone with a 4th level civilization go, unless their home planet is occupied and their connection with a certain consciousness is completely wiped out, otherwise there is no need to take this risk. Chen Mo said. These Patilas are definitely talented. But Chen Mo felt it was not worth the risk. What's more, it is not completely impossible to infect and control the opponent. Thinking about it, the other party shouldn't directly explode himself, right? Running out so desperately. What you said also makes sense. Luo Bing couldn't help nodding his head when he thought of contacting his home planet. Because of this, some star gods were destroyed by the opponent's positioning of the main planet. It is not just the world of Star Soul that knows the natural connection between the conscious body and the consciousness of the mother planet. At the 4th level of civilization, these rules are basically understood. However, because of this, it became very difficult to capture the opponent. If you can succeed once and ensure your own safety, it is also extremely attractive. In the world of Star Soul, the price of the knowledge of Patila civilization has always remained high. At this time, the 5 Patila civilization engineers who had already rushed out with ecstatic faces also froze the smiles on their faces. They could see outside. I thought that if I break through the broken world that looks like the space of evil gods, there will be a sea of stars and stars outside. I don't know. There are more terrifying and powerful life forms outside. Tentacles, minions, eyes, everywhere. Seems to spread to the end of the universe. All this made the blood of several people coagulate. The joy of escaping and ascending to heaven, all disappeared. But after all, they are the elites of the Patila civilization, and one of them injected a tube of sedatives and anti-consciousness drugs, and immediately said, "Great cosmic level powerhouse. Hello, I am a scientist of the Patila civilization, ranked 9th in the Academy of Sciences, you can be called Timon. I have mastered many top-level technology trees of my family, but these technologies are encrypted in my consciousness. If I die, or if my consciousness changes forcibly, it will be saved immediately. I hope you can let us go. My value is self-evident. The Patila civilization is willing to use a variety of civilization relics and knowledge of ancient gods in exchange." Chen Mo couldn't help but looked at the other party in surprise, and said, "You actually think that the Patila civilization will save you?" This person may have been obsessed with research, but he still doesn't know the deadly threat he is posing to the Patila civilization. 0. It can be said that if there is a chance, the Patila civilization would like to pack up the people in this star area and throw them into the 2-dimensional space to fend for themselves. Timon is an extremely powerful person who possesses endless knowledge. He thinks he has a way to deal with anything. The other party must need something. It's not that he is arrogant, but now that he has calmed down, he thinks quickly and observes his surroundings. He feels that the probability of his escape is still very high. The powerhouses of the Star Soul world, I know you are eager for everything, especially the knowledge you have never touched. Tell me, how much knowledge do you want to get from me? 50%, or a complete path to becoming a god. Timon spoke calmly. At the same time, he energized himself regardless of his body, and used it to display a large amount of data. Believe in a powerful life form, you should know the value of this knowledge. My demise is not only the loss of Patila civilization, but also a sign that the entire universe is worse than the abyss of decline. Only I can save this world that is approaching disaster. I have quite a bit of information about them. Timon spoke again. Do you know what they mean? He throws out some amazing remarks. Shut up. Chen Mo suddenly gave a cold drink. This guy is not negotiating, he is simply threatening him. The next moment, Chen Mo directly opened the portal and appeared on the battlefield. Hee hee. This is Sincerity 2.8. Timon smiled slightly, thinking that the news he revealed had finally gained attention. How did he know that this completely pd off Chen Mo? In Chen Mo's view, it is very speechless for this guy to try to disclose his self-righteous discovery. Especially the problem of trying to pick apart the Eater of Dimensions. Whether it is or not, Chen Mo can't let him say these things. Some news cannot be circulated. It's like knowledge. Once the information gets out, things can go in a pretty dire direction. The time for the Devourer of Dimensions to sense and invade this universe will be greatly accelerated. So he just came over by himself. Reach out and grab it. Boom. Proof of conquest. Tell you to shut up and talk. Chen Mo let out a cold voice, and a huge phantom of the Star Soul world appeared behind him. Chapter 426. All destroyed. The power of the Star God. One more. Facing the terrifying Star Soul world, Timon's whole body burned immediately. But he is a fourth-level civilization after all, far from being comparable to the natives. So he didn't die immediately. But at this time, Chen Mo is already an intermediate star god, with a terrifying consciousness, enough to easily interfere with reality. I saw him volleying with one hand. Timon exploded into a cloud of blood mist. Immediately afterwards, the blood mist was directly evaporated by the terrifying energy and turned into the most basic particles. Frustrated. As for the other Patila engineers, they were also affected by this blow and were seriously injured. Coupled with Chen Mo's direct gaze, in an instant, parasitic spores emerged from their bodies and mushrooms grew. The long scene is extremely weird. Killed all. Luo Bing was a little confused. What a pity, these people are treasure houses, each of them has a lot of knowledge. But Chen Mo was so quick that she didn't even have time to make a suggestion. In just a split second, she saw that powerful Patila engineer, and she was directly crushed into powder. 30. The terrifying consciousness even directly crushed the opponent's shield. She never expected that Chen Mo's killing intent came so suddenly, and his attack was extremely decisive. Tell people to shut up. If you don't shut up, you will die the next moment. People don't care about knowledge and wealth. Although Chen Mo does have this capital. But Chen Mo was so decisive, without the slightest hesitation in killing and decisively killing her, he still calmed her down. Very shocking. Is this the strength of a star god level powerhouse in person? Just reaching out and grabbing it can crush the most powerful engineer on the other side to death. With just one look, the remaining engineers on the other side were directly infected and died. Too strong. This kind of strength is too enviable for her. Even gods have no power to resist in front of a terrifying star god like Chen Mo. His consciousness is too strong. Luo Bing even suspected that Chen Mo hadn't exerted his full strength yet, but just squeezed lightly. If you try your best, what kind of scene will it be? Can you directly extinguish the sun? She is curious. I am also very eager for myself to be able to reach this point. The star god is the goal that everyone in the Star Soul world desires to reach. A real strong man has a high status. However, I follow Chen Mo, so it's not like there is no chance. Even, go one step further. Thinking of this, Luo Bing felt lucky for his original choice. At this time, the evolution number is on. And beyond, on the fringes of war zones. Countless people watched the battle end. There is no doubt that the last resistance of the Patila civilization on this battlefield has disappeared. The two figures standing on the evolution were speechless for a long time. One of them is the star girl Ao Dai who pays the most attention to Chen Mo. The other one is the goddess of luck who came to watch the battle. She has been active in the celestial temple sector occupied by Chen Mo. One is to obtain asylum, but to study the dimensional spaceship with Chen Mo. There is a war here, so she naturally wants to come over and take a good look. Chen Mo's whole battle, from the advancement of the evolution ship to the annihilation of the army of gods, she watched it all. In short, such a one-sided battle surprised her very much. In particular, Patila civilization fell into the trap step by step, which surprised her even more. Chen Mo's operation is remarkable. She thought about it. If she operated it herself, she could only rely on her keen perception of danger to retreat, but it was basically impossible to defeat Chen Mo. Thanks to the fact that I have survived for so many years, I was complacent about my skillful recovery of my heyday strength before. Unexpectedly, in the blink of an eye, Chen Mo's strength was on par with hers. Thinking that the other party has only been developed for 2 months, Femilis, the goddess of luck, has the feeling that she has lived on a dog. On the other side, the goddess of starlight had the same idea. She was surprised to find that even if she came by herself, There was no good way to deal with Chen Mo's tactics. Then drag you into what he does best. How does this work? Over time, Chen Mo has grown to this point. Moreover, his own strength is also extremely terrifying. It looks like he is only a middle-level star god, but the star goddess feels that Chen Mo's actual power is far more than this. The opponent's consciousness is too strong. In just 2 months, I thought the intermediate star god was born. Even, tomorrow's strength may be even higher. It gave her a sense of urgency. It feels ridiculous at the same time. The number one person under the dignified counselor became nervous because of a newcomer who was only 2 months old. He even had to be careful that the other party's influence exceeded his own, and he had to be wary of the other party. This is outrageous, isn't it? She feels that even if she speaks out, few people will believe her. On the contrary, everyone will think that she thinks too much, her mind is too small, and she has no structure. Thinking of this, Ao Dai, goddess of starlight, couldn't help feeling even more bored. She is really suffering and can't tell. At the same time, she could also see that the subordinates beside her were even more unhappy. He thought that Chen Mo was really too powerful, and the way the opponent used to increase his strength was simply against the sky. Do you feel that training has become unnecessary? In 2 months, I'll be at the Star God intermediate level. Give Chen Mo another month, senior, or counselor. It's completely possible. Ao Dai no longer thinks that Chen Mo's progress will slow down as before. In fact, he is different from everyone. His ascension speed has not changed day by day. 500 or even, there is a faster and faster trend. My lord, do you think Chen Mo will be interviewed by the congressman this time? A confidant asked. It is a great honor to be interviewed by the counselors. It means that the star god has reached the end, and there is a possibility to go further. As long as it is an individual, it will envy the tomb. My view is, no. Who knows? Ao Dai smiled and shook her head. I guess they won't show up. Chen Mo either succeeds or fails. He is now a sharp sword in the Star Soul world, and the higher-ups may also be struggling, but the Star Soul world is now highly involved with Chen Mo, and the counselors may also use Chen Mo's ability. Quote. This may be related to. Speaking of this, Ao Dai shook her head directly, not going into details. This is just her guess. Of course, even if it is a guess, it is not allowed to talk nonsense. Then my lord, you. The confidant couldn't help being surprised. He didn't expect the matter to be so big, and it would involve the plans of the counselors. It doesn't feel like a good idea to get involved with Chen Mo. If you are not careful, you may offend the congressman. I bet Chen Mo is not just a sword, he may be a hope. In short, he has a bright future. When Ao Dai said this, she also became serious. Making this decision is not easy. Chapter 427 The Third Seat, Master of Space. 2 more. It seems that no matter which civilization you are in, you can't be too arrogant. Indeed, it doesn't matter if you have infinite knowledge in your hand. If you meet someone with a bad temper, you still don't blink, and you will be crushed. Mr. Chen Mo is so handsome. I just felt my chest tighten when I grabbed it. Damn it, everyone was scared. The War Zone channel is boiling again. No one expected that at the last moment, Chen Mo would actually make a move himself. And as soon as he made a move, it was a thunderous blow. Kill people who everyone thinks will not be killed, and kill them directly. Unfortunately, I was too irritable and directly lost a lot of knowledge. That's right, Chen Mo is still too young, wouldn't it be good to kill him with the knowledge? Hee, you only saw the appearance. I think Chen Mo should have controlled the rest of the people. This scene was just for us to see. It was also speculated that Chen Mo still got the benefits. After all, there are benefits not to take, not Chen Mo's style. Hee. A good vigilant mentality, otherwise I would have shot. In a space that no one knows about, a powerful star god witnessed Chen Mo killing the Patila engineer, and a smile could not help but appear on the corner of his mouth. This crisis is an opportunity for low-level people like Chen Mo. For me, sleepiness is not. 11. The laws of the Star Soul world and members of parliament all have their own ideas, but they are all cowards. Only I can save the entire universe. It is enough to unite 10 counselors, and I will be able to get enough votes. At that time, my main world, will be able to advance to become the companion mother world, which is the satellite of the Star Soul world. At that time, it's time for Thunderbolt to reform. If someone witnessed this person's words, they would definitely be shocked. Of course, the people who saw it, except for the congressman, could only be a dead end. He is one of the strongest in the Star Soul world, the third seat, Space Master. The transmission network of the entire Star Soul world is based on his knowledge and constantly improved and constructed. It is precisely because of this that he is the first to have insight into things outside the universe. The devourer of dimensions is not only a danger, but also an opportunity. Especially for me. The prosperity and gestation of civilization are all born from the alternation of change and crisis. I am the seed of change. As for the rest, it's just a foil. The Space Master couldn't help but smile. His plan had already been approved by Parliament, and once successful, he felt, no one would be in the way. The Star Soul world will unite around him. At that time, it is absolutely not a problem whether he can fight against the devourer of dimensions, but at least save his life. Taking 10,000 steps back, he and the core members of the Star Soul world will never be harmed in the slightest. As for other star gods, then there is nothing he can do. The bald head in the crisis of civilization, someone has to sacrifice, right? This person is not him, that's fine. But when will the devourers of dimensions arrive? This problem has always troubled Space Master. I don't know if anyone knows. If he knows, even a few days in advance, he can gain a huge advantage. Patila War Zone. The space blockade on the battlefield has been lifted, and a large amount of resources have begun to be sent away. At the same time, due to the gravitational force, a large number of corpses also began to converge towards the evolution number. Automatically falling into the giant eyeball, these will be reprocessed into materials for the next countless minions. Of course, some of the spaceships of the Patella civilization, as well as the corpses of the Legion of the Gods, will be collected separately. Chenmo may not be needed, but the market for Star Soul world is huge. These things are quite precious materials, and they have always been high-end goods in the market, and the supply is in short supply. After all, they are all of the same level of civilization, and they are not of the same level as the indigenous things. Many of the knowledge and artifacts are unknown to the Star Soul world. What's more, the analysis of this knowledge by the big library has become a very profitable industry. Of course, for such an expensive item, the master of the planet in Chenmo's own sacred system must not be able to afford it. Chenmo is always listed on the trading platform, and if it is good, it will be auctioned, and generally it will be estimated at a price and sold directly. Because his quantity is too large, yes, in the high-end market, there are actually not many goods that can be obtained. With only one person, Chenmo has been able to impact the high-end market. All of a sudden, the supply volume has increased significantly. A price drop is inevitable. But also because of this, the pricing power is also in the hands of Chenmo. This is real influence. From the beginning to the end of the sale, after careful calculation, Chenmo found that he still made a lot of money. Monopoly is very profitable, even if it is a monopoly that makes people feel cheap. Chenmo couldn't help laughing. These items from the Patila civilization are worthless in his hands, but if they are thrown into the Star God world to digest, a large number of people will know that from Chenmo, they can get good goods. At the same time, this also brought a large amount of funds for Chenmo. With these funds, his teleportation network can continue. Master. Oran also came back at this time. At the same time, there was a message sent back from the astral world, and Chenmo miraculously and safely transported all the things in the broken world. Especially the broken, good body in it. Of course, many shells and the like burned by themselves, bursting into energy overflow. This is also impossible. Because of the war, the laws of the broken world have long been incomplete, and the substances born in that environment appear extremely fragile when they come to this universe. Hide those infected Patala civilization engineers well, interrogate them carefully, and sort out all the knowledge, starting from the most basic. Don't look at the most powerful knowledge first. Chenmo cautioned Daosai carefully. Peeping at the fourth-level civilization that still exists, you have to be more cautious. If this job was done in the past, Chenmo would hand it over to the big library. But now, Lilia is studying the broken world, and Chenmo's own people have grown up. He believes that with his current strength, even if there are some small accidents, they are still within the controllable range. Chapter 428. What Femilis Sees. One more. Chenmo is counting the harvest here. At this time, Femiris, the goddess of luck, came. Congratulations. Now you are the most famous star god, and your reputation is not inferior to Ao Dai. The next responsibility of saving the world, I will trust you. Femilis said directly. In his tone, he was very envious. She really didn't expect that Chenmo's strength could skyrocket like this in a short period of time. And obviously, Chen Mo is about to be promoted to the senior star god. It is equivalent to the consul in their Protoss. This is the top combat power. 380 by then, Chen Mo will surpass her in terms of body strength alone, not to mention his endless minions. Chen Mo looked at Fimilis, and couldn't help but look relaxed. Seeing her now, he already had a great understanding of her strength, but he was still curious about why she dared to bet on him. It seems that you have always been concerned about our Star Soul world. I am curious why you bet on me from the very beginning. Chen Mo asked. Hearing this, Fimilis couldn't help but have a strange look on her face. Besides, did she think Chen Mo's breath was a bit strange? Honestly, this Dafi is really important. And she didn't have a better choice at the time. Fimilis still decided to tell the truth. Your strength has reached this point, and I have nothing to hide, except that I am optimistic about you, and can use ideal knowledge to predict some possible outcomes. A little familiar, this kind of familiarity. How should I put it? It's like you don't belong to this universe. In short, as a Protoss, my mysterious intuition is still very reliable. Although this ability has been greatly weakened in this universe, I still believe in this talent. So, please believe me, you have the possibility to become a hero. When the time comes, I will ask you. Femilis still thought about it, so she saluted Chen Mo. In addition, I think you'd better not kill too many races. Although the Patila civilization is hostile to you, in the final analysis, you have no fundamental conflict of interest. You should definitely be on the same side when it comes to fighting the Devourer of Dimensions. Quote. If everyone works together, I think there is hope. Cooperate. Chen Mo frowned. With regard to the current situation, to be honest, within the Star Soul world, he feels a lot of resistance. Now that the matter has come to an end, it is obvious that the congressmen must have their own plans, and letting him continue to grow is just one of the plans. Within a civilization, there are only so many smart people of all kinds thinking of various solutions. It also expects different civilizations to work together. Chen Mo feels that after discussing for a long time, the greatest possibility is that the major four-level civilizations form a hip-stretching coalition army, and after being wiped out by the regiment, they will go their separate ways and build their own salvation spaceships. See Chen Mo's skeptical tone. The goddess of luck, Femiris, said quickly, you don't have to think about it all. In fact, if I can accurately predict the future, I won't be in this situation. But from the pictures I have seen, it is true that everyone is united and has the greatest hope. But this is just a picture of the future, and I don't dare to draw too many conclusions. I'm not even sure if it's a union. Maybe it's a powerful god that forced everyone to stand together. Fimilis said with a smile. In her star-like pupils, there seems to be infinite secrets flowing, like a galaxy, very beautiful. Chapter 429 Found You, Peeper. Borrow the head of Patila civilization to use it. 2 more. Chen Mo nodded noncommittally, but for the picture that Fimilis said, he was moved in his heart. By the way, he infects and controls other races, so he can also form this kind of picture, right? It looks as if the whole universe is united, but in fact, it is just a bunch of mushrooms. Your ability is really powerful. Can you still see some things in the future, or increase my winning rate? Chen Mo asked. That's all right, but for someone with such a wide influence like you, the effect is very weak. Femilis spoke. She is known as the goddess of luck. It is true, but that is only because of avoiding disasters, but if you want to say that it is quite difficult to obtain benefits by force, not to mention, she has already been noticed now. Moreover, as the Devourer of Dimensions approaches, the interference to this universe will become more severe, and her ability will decline more and more due to external interference. In the end, I also became more unlucky. But the advantage is that relying on this, she can roughly judge the movement of the enemy. But one thing she can be sure of is that among all possibilities, Chen Mo is quite a key existence. Because of this, it is very important for her to cooperate with Chen Mo and bond more deeply. Although Chen Mo has promised her now, the dimensional spaceship has a ticket for her. However, people always have dreams, otherwise what is the difference with a salted fish? With the back road, we should naturally strive for more. For example, as prophesied, give the dimension devourers a head-on blow. Speaking of hatred, there is probably no one bigger than her in this universe. She is now wandering and homeless, all thanks to the devourer of dimensions. A little bit is also very powerful. If it is convenient at that time, I hope you can give me some guidance. Even if it is to increase the winning rate by 1%, our advantages will accumulate over time. Chen Mo said to Lady Luck. At the same time, he was very interested in what reason this prophecy ability was based on. If speculated from the point of view of materialism, he believes that the essence of prophecy is two possibilities: one is future visualization, and the other is ultra-high computing power calculation, which predicts possible future events. The second type, although Goddess of Luck has some forces in other galaxies, obviously does not meet this requirement. On the contrary, Chen Mo himself, whose computing power has expanded terribly, already has this possibility initially. The first is future visualization. That is to say, Lady Luck has a way to temporarily leave this dimension and see the road ahead from a higher perspective. One can make all kinds of predictions about ants. If they could communicate, the ants would think that all human beings are prophets. This is normal, because in the eyes of an ant, the world is always flat, and it is impossible for him to fly up and see the river, flames, and road ahead. But human beings are three-dimensional creatures, and it is easy to see all this clearly, and make reasonable predictions about the future based on the news. Prophecy, that is the essence. In other words, the Goddess of Luck, Femiris, or the entire race known as the Protoss, has this ability, that is, unconsciously, to receive information from higher dimensions. By combining this information, they can make reasonable predictions about the future. Seeing Chen Mo sending out a new cooperation invitation to herself, Lady Luck immediately nodded with a smile. Of course can. Speaking of which, her advantage is indeed irreplaceable. At least for a long time, I can cooperate happily with Chen Mo. As for what kind of relationship will it lead to in the end? She felt that it would not go bad. It will only get better. Master, a strange line of sight has been detected. Fang Yin hides well, we can't detect each other's position in the existing universe. According to the calculation of the magic eye, the coordinates that are clearly there are empty. After Lady Luck left, Ash appeared this time, with a dignified look on her face, evading our normal detection entirely. Chen Mo looked at Ash in surprise. As Chen Mo's right-hand man, she hadn't appeared before, just to guard against this suspicious peep. You must know that Chen Mo is so powerful, and his various perception methods are currently the most abundant in the Star Soul world. This was the first time he had encountered an enemy that he couldn't even observe through ordinary methods. In this case, the only possibility is that the other party does not exist in the existing universe. In the void, or has a unique spatial ability. Folded space, hidden outside the cosmic bubble. Owner, Xe told Chen Mo about her guess and discovery. After hearing this, Chen Mo couldn't help frowning slightly. At this moment, he already had an idea in his mind. Being able to avoid his inspection, the other party is definitely one of the strongest among the fourth-level civilizations. But it didn't pose a threat to him. Then there are only two possibilities. One is to be afraid of the Star Soul world. But this one is not very reliable, because it is impossible for the MPs to stop the enemy immediately. There is another possibility. This secret one is the congressmen themselves. But the congressman is protecting me personally. This is obviously impossible. The opponent left after the battle, or even before it was completely over. Obviously, the other party just came to take a look. Come check out his strength. But I don't want to contact him. Excellence in space type means. A list of 100 congressmen flashed through Chen Mo's mind. Seat 3, Space Master. It should be this one. I didn't expect that the other party would come to secretly watch my legion. But the other party certainly didn't expect that my perception gene is extremely powerful, and I can directly perceive the behavior of observing. The other party definitely doesn't know. I already know of his existence. After thinking for a while, Chen Mo said to Ash, you go down first, rectify the legion, clean up the knowledge and loot, and after defeating the Patila civilization this time, we will not be afraid of this kind of observation. Good host. Ash nodded, and retreated respectfully. Chen Mo's expression became indifferent. What the hell are these congressmen planning? And they came to check on him secretly. Did they want to confirm something? 0 for flowers. Sooner or later, he will become stronger and ignore the prying eyes of the other party. At the same time, there is no need to pretend not to know like now. Big. But at the same time, Chen Mo became more and more certain that his strategy was correct. He has received the attention of the world law many times, and this is his life-saving talisman. As long as the law does not allow it, then he has enough freedom. And according to his speculation, the MPs must also be divided into several factions. At the very least, there are still people who support and cultivate his unstable factor. Let's call this faction the main war faction. There will certainly not be any capitulators. Then the Space Master most likely belongs to the escape faction. Thinking about it, the other party is good at space technology, and maybe he has a very comprehensive plan for his escape plan. Even, it may have been able to be used in practice. Chen Mo doesn't think that the dignified and veteran counselor can't even build a dimensional spaceship. But if this is the case, the power of the entire Star Soul world will undoubtedly be further dispersed. Thinking of this, Chen Mo couldn't help but sigh. 0. In the past, Chen Mo knew that someone was spying on him, but he couldn't find out the location accurately, and even if he found out, he couldn't win, so he ordered to panic. But times are different. He has shown quite terrifying potential now, and he is completely loyal to the world of Star Soul. There is no doubt about this. Chen Mo couldn't help feeling rejoicing that he had never done anything that harmed the interests of the Star Soul world before. At the same time, he is also very restrained internally, and has not used any infection control capabilities outside the system. Even if he is already very eager to expand his influence. This decision now looks very important. Maybe this made many congressmen choose to favor him. At the same time, he has also received 3 attentions from the world law, and can even directly summon the world projection of the Star Soul. It can be said that even in the power of the law, he is not the kind of low-ranking, but one of the front-row figures who have a great influence on the world. Even, it is not an exaggeration to say that it is second only to members of parliament. Under these double guarantees, Chen Mo didn't panic at all. Even Shendu, the lucky girl, said that he has hope of fighting against the devourer of dimensions, and believes that other counselors are not fools. The most important thing is that Chen Mo himself has reached the peak of his influence and strength. As long as he can go to the next level, he will be a member of parliament. At that time, he doesn't have to be afraid of anyone. Not to mention, Chen Mo's strength has rapidly expanded in the universe. In addition to the Patila civilization, Chen Mo has joined forces with the star goddess Ao Dai to let mushrooms release their spores in many star areas. Every spore, it can be said, contains most of his capital. As long as one spore survives, it will soon make a comeback. If there is no accident, his strength will grow faster day by day. Because he has passed the period of wretched development, now is the stage of explosive expansion. It won't be long before trillions of Legion frenzy will sweep through every planet in the Patila civilization. With the head of the Patila civilization, Chen Mo is enough to go one step further in the Star Soul world. Chapter 432 Nisir Cores. March on MPs. One more. Regarding whether the Patela civilization can be killed. Chen Mo is very confident. What he lacks now is actually only the power to make a final decision within the Star Soul Sea world. The rest are minor issues instead. As an intermediate star god, it is absolutely impossible to do this. The only way to go one step further is to become a high-ranking star god or member of parliament, a group tour. So Chen Mo put his hopes on himself. Go ahead and become a high-level star god, or take another leap forward to make the mushroom races, growth, and devour, even stronger. No matter which one of the above, it will make his force value reach the highest level in the Star Soul world. By then, the main force from the inside will basically disappear. Even if there is still the main force, Chen Mo can basically ignore it, and no one can tell him what to do. Of course, in fact, 837 has no one telling him what to do. This, just in case. Facing a congressman with great potential, who may even be on an equal footing with himself, before ordering Chen Mo, anyone must carefully consider the possible consequences in the future. At this time, Luo Bing, who had already returned to his own planet, looked at the swarm of applications with an extremely strange expression. And very emotional. At the beginning, she was side by side with Chen Mo, and even, she was a newcomer who was favored at all. Now it is true that I have completely worked for Chen Mo. Of course, she was not unhappy. In fact, in her current position, how many people wanted to ask for it, but they still couldn't come. Check out the application list for Chen Mo Support Group. A lot of stars Shendu are here. Yes, it's that outrageous. You know, originally this was just a small group she established to integrate theater resources. Later, because of an accident, it became such a name. Later, with Chen Mo's development, she also witnessed step by step, what is called a miracle. And a teasing, Chen Mo Support Group, has become so important step by step. Of course, this weight refers to the entire Star Soul world. Countless people pay attention. As far as Chen Mo is concerned, in fact, he rarely asks about this matter. Only when a lot of girls are coming to visit, he just asks casually. One or two, it doesn't attract Chen Mo's interest anymore. What people want is influence. Pursuit and oneself are not at the same level at all. As for the influence of the home planet, this point, as a person who uses the power of the star soul, Luo Bing is very clear about what this means. Whoever has the greatest influence on the home planet can be said to be the member with the most authority. Thinking back carefully, Chen Mo started planning this step a long time ago. She admired Chen Mo more and more. The difference between the two is too much. It was precisely because of this that when she was still struggling with how to handle her relationship with the Star Soul Lord, many star gods came. For a while, she found that the strategies she had studied before had become useless. No strategy is needed either. She is now the party that completely holds the initiative, even if the other party is the star god. All this is because of Chen Mo, Lord of Star Soul. Star God. To Chen Mo, these are nothing at all. He has entered a new, high, realm. Chen Mo's opponents have become those extremely strong fourth-level civilizations, and there are only a few hundred people left as internal competitors, terrifying counselor-level powerhouses. Relatively speaking, these Star Soul Masters are very low-end. Not a class at all. Between the two parties, only one kind of relationship will exist, that is to take refuge in Chen Mo, and then rely on Chen Mo's strength to develop rapidly. And a single Star Soul Master, to Chen Mo, no longer has any meaning or specific value. Only when it exists as a huge whole, Chen Mo will pay attention to it. Of course, there is no one who can command this whole. It is impossible to bargain with Chen Mo. Unknowingly, Chen Mo has already strengthened his thigh. Someone came up to hug. No one can twist such a thick thigh. The powerful speed of Chen Mo and Holy Terra cannot be described in words at all. If she insisted on dividing a stage, she felt that it could only be divided according to the day. Today's Chen Mo, if you don't like answering, tomorrow you will be too high. Luo Bing couldn't help murmuring. I didn't expect that in just 2 months, the entire structure of the Star Soul world had been broken by Chen Mo. It was an earth-shattering scene, but I was reduced to a backup group administrator. The semi-secretary role 0.0 inches. Let's not talk about strength. I haven't touched the Star God realm yet. However, I have come into contact with a lot of star gods. Luo Bing couldn't help laughing at himself. This point is envied by others, but she herself is troubled occasionally. After all, it's like a bank counts banknotes, and if you spit it out, it's not yours. She is in contact with Chen Mo every day, even if it is a deeper contact, the power is not hers. It's useless to vomit. After thinking for a while, she contacted Chen Mo. When will you launch a war against Patila civilization? I will organize people to visit Holy Terra before then. Luo Bing has learned the lesson from last time. This time, he must ask Chen Mo about his next plan and cooperate well. Although there were some surprises due to some accidents last time, it is better to be safe and try our best. Promote Chen Mo's powerful and invincible side. It would be even better if he could witness the explosion of Patila's spirit army. Soon, but before that, I want to promote my own energy network, and strive to advance to the high-level star god. Chen Mo said. The Patila civilization is there, and he pushes it forward. On the side of the Star Soul world, if you don't fight for it, no one will give it up. Those consortiums have already started to do it. They didn't dare to object openly, but they also caused a lot of troubles for Chen Mo, lobbying every day to prevent more people from joining Chen Mo's Sacred Body 1.6 system. But they never imagined that Chen Mo could also expand the energy grid. Even, Chen Mo has 2 Nesser cores. Just evolve the high energy gene, or the space gene again. Any one of them, like parasitic, reaches the limit of evolution and enters a whole new level, then there will definitely be astonishing changes. Perhaps my energy network can be like the projection power of the Star Soul world, directly ignoring the distance. Chen Mo speculated. Luo Bing was stunned for a moment. This is too. She was shocked, even a little panicked. Such an ambitious goal, so easily and casually said. So much so that she was a little flustered and didn't dare to speak out. I always feel that this is behind the back of the congressman, plotting loudly. Chapter 431, Billion Legion. The war is intensifying. 2 more. Our enemies are never from within, but from without. Of course Chen Mo knew what Luo Bing was thinking. He couldn't help but mention something. If you have time to worry about the competition within the Star Soul world, why not think about how to fight against the drastic changes in the entire universe? I feel it too, the atmosphere is not right. Luo Bing nodded. The war has continued until now, and many well-informed people, or those who are good at observing, have already noticed that something is wrong. The entire universe is becoming restless. I believe you have the ability to grow stronger and guard one side in this troubled world. Luo Bing said. She didn't know what disaster Chen Mo was referring to, but she believed that Chen Mo had the ability to comment. In short, Chen Mo must know something. Disaster, from the outside. Chen Mo also hinted at her last time. It's a pity that she went back and investigated for a while, but there was no result. The more this happened, the more she worried that she would be on the wrong team and become the one who was sacrificed. But since Chen Mo knows, it means that he is capable of making choices, and following in the footsteps of the other party is the best choice. 30. If at that time, Chen Mo is unable to win, and even his life is in danger, then these people will only be cannon fodder to die first. There are also many indigenous civilizations that Luo Bing slaughtered. It can be said that everyone in the Star Soul world has a clear understanding of this universe. They don't have too many unrealistic fantasies, it's just because the civilization is special, and they won't be able to stuff their own blood until the last drop of blood of their own race is exhausted. To reach that point, Luo Bing believes that there is no essential difference between the Star Soul world and those natives, and it will be as fast to sell one's own people. The more he thought about it, the more Luo Bing felt the importance of standing in the team first before disaster strikes. At least here in Chen Mo, the most indispensable thing is cannon fodder. No one is going to be used as cannon fodder. This made her very reassured. Of course, Luo Bing will not publicize this matter, because she believed it through Chen Mo's high-end channels. As for the war zone, there are various analyses everywhere on the internet, but most of them don't think it will be serious. Only she knows that this is a huge disaster that even the first person under the counselor must be vigilant against. But the vast majority of Star Soul Masters are not aware of this. They will only see the great expedition of the Star Soul world, all kinds of victories, the South and North wars, and even a ruthless person like Chen Mo who beats everything. They always feel that the universe belonging to the Star Soul world is coming. Star Soul Lords do have the qualifications to think so, and it is easy to think so. After all, this is a powerful fourth-level civilization. Even the weakest people in the Star Soul world can get a living in the Star Soul world, much better than other natives in the universe. Luo Bing looked at the internet, and most people felt that the intensity of the war was getting higher and higher. Instead, they held a state of, no other meaning, I just want to open my eyes. Yes, everyone wants to see a big one. Before the war is lost, no one will feel that they are losers. Whether it is blindly optimistic or united as one, in short, this is the current state. But this state is not without benefits. After all, the Lord of the Star Soul is the cornerstone of the Star Soul world. It is a good thing that they are optimistic. The main battle with the Patila civilization has temporarily come to an end, but there are still constant small battles in the middle. For others, this may be a trivial matter. But for me, the real benefit is here. Every time I harvest a batch of consciousness, infect and control a planet, plant mushrooms inside the planet, and form a neural network, I will become stronger. Patila and the Star Soul world probably think that it is the time of preparation for war, but I am developing crazily. Thinking of this, Chen Mo looked at the front line of the Legion. At this time, his Legion has been fully deployed, forming 1,000 small legions, each of which is responsible for attacking and sweeping an area. Of course, Chen Mo will not send anyone to support him if he fails. He doesn't play refueling tactics. If you fail, you will be wasted. Growing spores from the planet. In short, the Legion leader figured out a way to consume it slowly, and he had to collect the living planet and the galaxy where he was located. Now that the war has progressed, more and more people have seen the opportunity and continue to join this war zone. Then follow Chen Mo's evolution, and attack madly forward together. The Patila civilization is constantly obstructing and harassing. In the rear, they are preparing the largest legion of gods in history. On Chen Mo's side, various star gods also saw the opportunity and gathered from all over the Star Soul world. Around number 7, the huge Xingshan group is also in view. There are tens of millions of legions in Chen Mo alone, as many as 1,000. In short, even Chen Mo's eyelids twitched when he counted his own combat power. Is this the effect of the massive spread of influence and the explosion of fame? It was scarier than he expected. It's just a response. Of course, this also brings about extremely terrifying management pressure. Imagine that the Alien Legion, counted in billions, will now share part of Chen Mo's intelligence. Chen Mo will also provide them with various, suggested courses of action. After all, I got 7 layers of income. 337 still has something to do. Of course, Chen Mo was silently showing his strength. Computing power is also combat power. The Lord of the Star Soul can't tell yet, but from the words of the Star God, he can immediately feel that it is really beneficial to hang out with Chen Mo. Ever since, Chen Mo opened up a new theater. In almost an instant, the tension between the Star Soul world and the Patella civilization reached its highest point. All-out war has almost de facto broken out, and the main battlefield revolves around the evolution. At this time, around the evolution, inside and outside, billions of legions are like locusts, covering the sky and covering the sky. And the planets, the weak cosmic life and the natives who had no time to escape, all turned into nourishment for the creep. What's going on? Many of our weapons will be controlled by the opponent. Our defense has also been seen through by the opponent. Damn it, it's a knowledge leak. Our shield defense seems to be reduced. Many legions from the Patella civilization who came to test it encountered various problems. For a time, there were constant quarrels within Ming. In the end, everyone came to a frightening conclusion that almost all of their research team in the broken world may have fallen into the hands of the slave owners. Chapter 432 Federal Proclamation, Extermination Order issued again. One more. Impossible. They all added thought stamps. Each one is the most loyal warrior of our civilization. Even if you die in battle, you will never surrender. Commander Patella couldn't believe it. But at this time, a researcher on the side scolded fiercely. It must be Timon. This rubbish must be using himself as a threat. When he communicated with me last time, he said so. He always thinks that he is awesome, and that no matter where he goes, he can't lose money. He must be thinking about getting in touch with the other party, and then turning back to the customer. Oh, what a disaster for us. As he spoke, he was about to cry. After hearing this, many Patella commanders were itching with hatred. What the hell is this? At a critical moment, it can be said that one person cheated them all. If I knew this earlier, I should have thrown it into the engine and burned it as fuel. Of course, many people suddenly began to realize that when facing the world of Star Soul again, some of them would eventually be unable to withstand it, or because of arrogance, fear, etc. Give those slave owners a chance. We can't continue like this, otherwise Timon's fate will be the fate of all of us. Don't panic. Now the entire universe is facing a crisis. We just run away, and the world of Star Soul doesn't dare to chase us. We are the ones in the entire universe who are worthy of a united front. No, what we have is value, as long as the nature of this remains the same. In fact, we don't have to worry about what the slave owner will do. Let's just go head to head. In the end, both sides will suffer. Let's just hand over the universe to others. The slave owners are not that stupid. They are just putting pressure on us. Let's hold on and don't panic. In addition, we are contacting a life in the universe and other civilizations. The enemy of the Star Soul world is not us after all. We are in a hurry, don't blame us for losing. Within the Patella civilization, the number of people supporting the battle has decreased. After all, Star Soul world is obviously stronger at this time. Shouting and killing depends on the situation. Taking a step back and being able to win peace seems good. The Patella Theater channel is still lively at this time. The discussion about the battle outside may have come to an end. But here, it's a timeless theme. It can even be said that this is the time for everyone to show off their spoils. Because the battle has entered a calm period, many people have survived the fierce battle before. Although they were still slapped in the face severely by Chen Mo in the end, and some people suffered heavy losses, they still made some profits. The battle is finally over. This wave of my ranking in the theater has risen to the second place in the entire region. I have a fraction of Chen Mo's record. Patella Theater Channel, the second said proudly. This is a veteran star god, very powerful, and there are many people who pay attention to him. As soon as he took a screenshot of his speech, many people praised and flattered him for a while. Awesome, the number one star god under Chen Mo. Boss, keep a low profile. I haven't seen you show off your achievements before. Good guy, it turns out that you have been following Chen Mo all this time. Let me see what your record is. It's amazing. You're simply the king of picking up trash. Okay, this year it can reach a fraction of Chen Mo's record. It is definitely very energy saving. If there is no Chen Mo, he will be our absolute main force. Patila civilization faced Chenmo and was defeated all the way. Such a powerful army of gods was directly wiped out. Did you find out? Chenmo seems to have mastered the method of reverse comprehensive stance shield. Patila's shield is like a soap bubble, it will burst in 1,000. Definitely gained knowledge. Hey, exclusive sale of the high-definition video of Chenmo killing the enemy. It is absolutely clear. You can see every hair on Chenmo's body. If you want it, contact me privately. We only sell 10 million sets. Is Mr. Chenmo so popular? I don't know when there will be a member who will be promoted. Member, if you think too much, even at the speed of Mr. Chenmo, it will take at least several years. Actually, in the war zone, everyone is working for Chenmo. Why should Chenmo get 70% of it? We still have to see his face. I suggest setting up a fair committee to make detailed statistics on the contributions of both parties, and calculate the benefits according to the contribution. I think we can get at least 40% of the benefits. You're an idiot, no one is forcing you to join. Brother, wake up, look at what era this is, and fool people to fight against Chenmo. It looks like an idiot from the consortium. Don't worry about it. The current situation in our war zone depends entirely on Chenmo's ability. If you think this distribution method is unreasonable, you can also open up a war zone yourself. Everyone is a star god, it's best to go through your brain when you speak. After this battle, there should be no one who dares to get in trouble with Chenmo, at least on the surface. Why not? I can do it. As long as the consortium gives me 1 trillion, I will be the most determined Chenmo in the universe. For a time, arguments about opposing Chenmo's oppression, Chenmo being as shameless as the consortium, etc., spread all over the theater channel. Finally, everyone came to a conclusion. That is, Chenmo is already in a dominant position in the war zone, and he is now the center of the storm in the struggle between the Star Soul world and the Patala civilization. How can anyone not pay attention to the location of the typhoon during a typhoon? In short, without relying on Chenmo, let alone attacking freely in the theater, many actions will be interfered by a large number of minions. At the same time, 30% of other people's income is more than you can earn by yourself. And it's even less dangerous. As for the issue of Chenmo and the consortium, there is no way to hack it. As long as you mention this, you will be labeled as a consortium dog. What's more, if Chenmo sees it and blocks it directly, then, well done, it will no longer be possible to integrate into Chenmo's system in the future, and the consortium will not be able to really benefit from it. So unless you really get the benefits of the consortium, otherwise, no one will speak to that side at all. For a while, the word of mouth of the consortium plummeted. More people secretly decided that if they had a choice, it would be better to cooperate with Chenmo. At this time, an announcement suddenly appeared. Star Soul World is about to launch an all-out war, invading all star regions except the areas controlled by the 4th level civilization. Launch an indiscriminate extinction order for all civilizations below level 4. This announcement is a real-world announcement, and everyone in the entire Star Soul world has received it. For a moment, the world of Star Soul shook. The entire war zone immediately exploded. The star gods were gearing up one after another and became extremely excited. Is this an agreement with the rest of the 4th level civilization? Ready to carve up the whole universe. Chapter 433 Void Creature. Cthulhu. 2 more. They were still discussing Chenmo's network, but there was an instant shock. For a time, everyone talked about this national war. Yes, everyone must attend. Countless sleeping people were awakened by their watches. The population of 200 billion has all gathered in the online world in an instant. This time, the Federation issued such an announcement without warning. Announcements of this level can only be released if the entire parliament votes. Not to mention, this is still a foreign war. No matter in terms of content or specifications, this announcement is different. It is not an exaggeration to say that it is a general mobilization. Federal announcement. The members of the Star Soul world, represented by Space Master, have reached a preliminary agreement with 13 4th-level civilizations including Patila and Noka, to occupy the entire universe under the condition of mutual peace as much as possible. Resources. The main goal is to issue an extinction order and become a planetary wool factory. Participation method. All-Star Soul World. Time. From the date of announcement, no limit. Suggested action. Exterminate the remaining civilizations, plunder and collect knowledge and resources, and fight against the remaining 4-level civilizations. Reward. A large amount of resources are tilted, and the rules of the Star Soul world are concerned. Tip 1. When the war starts, don't hold back any civilization, but try not to conflict with the fourth level civilization as far as possible, except for interests. The Federation will not intervene, and you can even apply. Tip 2. Focus on eradicating low-level civilization consciousness and erasing traces of their existence. Hint 3. During this period, there will be powerful enemies, including void monsters haunting the broken world, killing and turmoil in the entire universe, which will make them pay more attention to us. 1. Hint 4. A strong civilization is enough to connect with cause and effect or consciousness to kill the Lord of the Star Soul. Although there is the protection of the Star Soul world, accidents may still happen. Please find your own position and do not do things beyond the scope of your ability. Tip 5. The Federation will evaluate everyone's strength and recommend things you want to do in order to maximize efficiency. Hint 6. Lower civilizations also have a lot of useful knowledge, some of which are even quite valuable, and we need to collect them. Hint 7. The more thorough the execution of the Extinction Order, the more helpful it will be for the follow-up plan of Star Soul World. The person who implements the most thorough will get additional attention from the Federation and World Law 1. This is a turning point in the transformation of the Star Soul world. Please work hard together. Star Soul is immortal. Consciousness is eternal. After reading the announcement, the entire internet exploded. As long as you are a person from the Star Soul world, you will take out your watch immediately and go online to see what everyone has to say. Including Chen Mo, who was checking the harvest, also took out his watch immediately. Star Soul world. I won't pretend anymore. It's a showdown. My goal is to unify the universe. Awesome. The big one is coming. I can't sleep tonight. This wave is definitely the most shocking ever, a real expedition. It's no wonder that the price of high-energy minerals has been rising all the way, and now I finally know the reason. Hey, if this goes on, it will be difficult for us to develop at the bottom, and it feels like we will bump into void monsters. Isn't that instant killing? Oh, I have a hunch. This time, I'm afraid someone will die. This operation will affect the entire universe, and it will definitely be very tragic. No one can stay out of it. It is said that it will not conflict with other fourth-level civilizations, but the question is whether the next plan is to deal with them, and even if it does not fight with other fourth-level civilizations, the void creatures alone will be a headache. Quote. It's a void creature after all. From another dimension. The other dimension is amazing. Isn't it all two sides of the universe? Isn't it just that positive and negative matter annihilate each other, afraid that they will hang up? Our consciousness is strong enough to interfere with reality and directly twist them into energy twists. Dea, void creatures are just a group of stragglers, similar to life in the universe. The strong ones, those who can be called evil gods, are really terrible. Some of them have even bewitched many of us. Be careful, don't read the books you shouldn't read, and block the voices you shouldn't hear. Shit evil god, as long as I don't learn knowledge and bathe in the brilliance of the Star Soul world every day, no one can grasp what will happen. I think the other four civilizations are the real scary ones. They can really kill us along the network cable. Quote. Anyway, this time is a huge opportunity. As long as the results come up, the evolution potion provided by the Star Soul world will be supplied in unlimited quantities. At the same time, the resources of the Federation will be doubled, and everyone's strength will be able to expand rapidly. I have a hunch that in this cosmic war, I will become famous. The war between civilizations. I don't feel too optimistic. As long as you don't lose, the living will naturally get rich. I think it's better to save your life. If you want to save your life, I think of Mr. Chen Mo. When Chen Mo was mentioned in the theater channel, everyone became quiet again for a while. Because this means, 3 to 7 points, means to look at the face. Infected with all kinds of high-spirited enthusiasm, most of it subsided immediately. However, being killed was very scary. The protection of the energy network path is also very fragrant. For a while, many people got entangled. They knew without thinking that Chen Mo would definitely not stop the current battle, but because of this announcement, his team would continue to grow. More will be added. As a member of the council, it is currently recognized as the strongest existence in the army under him. Who dares to say that he can better protect security than Chen Mo? Unless the goddess of starlight takes action in person. But this is not realistic. Many star gods are hiding behind, not because they are afraid of being wiped out by star weapons, and they will be wiped out in one fell swoop. It is the most appropriate way to only shoot the Legion. But now, there are more enemies coming along the connection. At this time, either return to the Star Soul world, or I will find a place similar to the Star Soul world. There are not many such places. Probably only 101. Yes, the extra one is Chenmo's Divine Terra. This place is so famous. Many people know that this place can almost be regarded as the little Star Soul world. Moreover, it has a permanent channel with the Star Soul world. For many people, Chenmo is the commander-in-chief of the Patila Theater, and also the most powerful protector they can get in touch with. Chapter 434. An unprecedented opportunity. The war is coming. One more. Holy Terra. Chenmo couldn't help frowning after reading the announcement. He immediately opened the property list. Among them, the time column, I don't know when, it has jumped to 750. Compared with the previous 900, it has dropped by 150. Something must have happened. Or, is it because the speed of the Dimension Devourer is accelerating, that the fourth-level civilization in the universe started to get anxious? Not to mention Luo Bing on the side. Already completely stunned. Because it was almost the same as she predicted, but it came too fast. In short, the two looked at each other, and both saw shock in each other's eyes. The Federation should have been preparing for this moment for a long time, and all kinds of resources and knowledge began to tilt towards the Star God in all directions. And the follow-up Star Soul Lord will also have the opportunity to obtain more planets. Compared with this cosmic-level battle, the trials the two had experienced before, the Battle of the Temple of Heaven, were all pediatrics. This time, it is a great opportunity to rise up within the Star Soul world and lead the Star Soul world onto the cosmic stage. Both of them have reason to think that if they can achieve good results in this battle, the Star Soul Lord who occupies each planet will definitely increase in strength, and even become a high-level star god. Even MPs are not a problem. After all, this is a terrible war that affects the entire universe. Standing out from among them, just the attention of the world law is enough to bless a person to reach the strength of a member. Luo Bing said, Chenmo, this war is undoubtedly great news for you. Especially when facing people at the stage of the Star Soul Master. In her opinion, the greatest pressure Chenmo is currently facing comes from within the Star Soul world. And a foreign war can greatly reverse this situation. At the same time, Chenmo is given the opportunity to constantly gain attention from the laws of the world and influence others. For example, at this moment, many people on the theater channel have suggested that they should resolutely join Chenmo's battle group and follow Chenmo's evolution number to be invincible. Of course, facing competitors at the Star God level is a challenge. Because the means and quantity of resources that everyone obtains have increased out of thin air. According to the current Federation's reward mechanism, even a Star God who is just paddling for fish can get a living planet every week. This means that the power of the Star Gods and Star Souls in the entire Star Soul world will rise with the tide. With stronger strength, the room for bargaining with Chenmo will naturally be higher. And if Chenmo wants to win them over, the price he will pay will be even higher. Of course, as I said just now, if you can win over, it will be an advantage. Whether it is good or bad, it all depends on Chenmo's operation. Chenmo said with a smile, don't worry about this. I really hope that the Star Gods will become stronger, because the stronger they are, the stronger the Star Soul world will be. The Star Soul world projection I use and the Star Soul I get only when the world pays attention will it be more effective. To know the war between Ming. Quote, if I'm the only one and the rest of the Star Gods in the Star Soul world are slapped in the face and killed, then our entire civilization will be in jeopardy. After all, the collective Star Soul world is the foundation of our strength. If there are a large number of Star Soul Masters, everyone's Requiem song, Dark Sky, and the protection ability of the Star Soul world law will be greatly weakened. At that time, I'm afraid I can't stand it alone, and our entire civilization will be driven into the abyss. So, even though I am in competition with the rest of the Star Gods, I still hope that they are as powerful as possible. On this point, it is related to the fundamental interests of the entire civilization. As for the challenge you mentioned, even if those Star Gods' strength skyrocketed, they didn't have the slightest influence on me. Chenmo said confidently, this is not because of his blind optimism, but because the strength of the other Star Gods has skyrocketed. Could it be that his subordinates are all living for nothing? He will only grow faster than others. On the contrary, if Yu Xing Shendu stays where he is, he will be beaten by the crowd, which is really unbearable. Or if the rest of the Star Gods are too weak, in order to maintain the collective consciousness of the Star Soul world strong, he has to protect them in turn, which is simply vomiting blood. Chenmo continued. I have a hunch that after this war is over, it will be a more brutal war. It is definitely not as simple as fighting the rest of the fourth-level civilization. Luo Bing was startled. Is it the disaster you said last time that affects the whole universe is coming? 0 for flowers. Chen Mo nodded slowly and said, yes, this is the main disaster, but the problem is that the other fourth-level civilizations will not cooperate with us, and even want to integrate us into their strength. In short, except for the Star Soul world, all other civilizations are enemies. Come and kill one by one, keep growing yourself. I believe that the above plan is also like this, to integrate the life planets of all civilizations, and make our Star Soul world extremely powerful, so as to crush other civilizations, to accumulate the strongest strength, and to fight against terrible disasters. Hear this. Luo Bing suddenly realized, yes, it must be what Chen Mo said. With such a development and expansion model in the Star Soul world, the best way to quickly become stronger and resist disasters is to set off disasters first, erode the will of all planets that can be controlled, and then use this power to destroy the remaining fourth-level civilizations. 0. In this case, the power of the Star Soul world will be extremely powerful, and even, to a certain extent, it can be regarded as integrating the power of the entire universe. Although this will lose a lot of resources and waste power in the middle. But a very feasible solution. Not to mention, as the war progressed, the strength of the star gods continued to expand, and they would not be satisfied with the current territory. It will be a matter of time before the other four-level civilizations are attacked. Even, she has no doubt that Chen Mo is a typical representative of this kind of behavior. This time, he took the lead in attacking Padala civilization, isn't that what it is? With the expansion of power, larger-scale wars were set off again and again. This war, can I continue to be with you? Luo Bing asked. Chen Mo nodded and said, of course, I will allow you to use the energy grid, and by then, you will be a powerful force. I hope this time, you can break through and become a star god. Must. Luo Bing couldn't help but be delighted. Compared with other newcomers, her strength is already very strong, but in front of Chen Mo's crowd of star god teammates, her strength is really not enough to look at. Fortunately, Chen Mo is here. There is an energy grid. She can leverage power far beyond her own. And the gains obtained by relying on this power are also righteousness that can be recognized by the Federation. Chapter 435 Higher Knowledge, Energy Network Transformation. Extreme Evolution. 2 more. I must work hard, Luo Bing couldn't help saying. Compared with Chen Mo's current strength, her current strength is really too big. Any capable general under Chen Mo's command is stronger than all her angels combined. She must be desperate. This time, no matter what, we must follow in Chen Mo's footsteps. At least not for nothing. Otherwise, she believes that even if Chen Mo wants to use her, he will be embarrassed to find that her strength is too low, and there is nowhere to use her. Over time like this, she gradually became an insignificant role in the entire sacred system. Even, one day, Chen Mo may forget that there is a person like her. She will never allow this to happen. Effort. Becoming the strongest star god is her dream. 170. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, Chen Mo's army approached an important fortress of the Patila civilization. This entire galaxy is armed to the teeth. In particular, one of the planets was completely hollowed out and turned into a planet-level fortress. More importantly, with the powerful space knowledge of the Patila civilization, this star-level fortress can still be teleported. It stands to reason that at this time Chen Mo should open the evolution's infected parasitic energy field and start preparing to attack. But Chen Mo was not in a hurry. Because his research on Neser's core has been carried out to the most critical place. Soon, he will acquire a crucial knowledge. Through this, maybe he can further stimulate the power of Neser's core, expand the scope of infection, from 1 light year to at least 3 light years. In this case, the entire galaxy of the enemy will suddenly fall within Chen Mo's attack range. Such a wide range of attack is enough to catch Padala civilization by surprise. Except for the gods and the creations protected by the energy shield, anything under Chen Mo's infection can only spit out mushrooms strangely, and then gradually set off a frenzy of infection. At the same time, the Halo Array production line built by Chen Mo has also been debugged. According to the engineers, the next step is to start the production line and start mass production. Of course, debugging is required at the beginning, but slowly, productivity will reach its limit. At that time, Chen Mo can make a ring-shaped energy emitter every day. Relying on this, Chen Mo can spread his infection energy field to an extremely distant area. As long as the layout is reasonable, it is not a problem to instantly impact the entire river system. A river system contains planets, counted in trillions. Infecting the creatures of an entire river system with energy at once, no one has ever done this kind of thing. Too insane. But Chen Mo is ready to try. If it succeeds, then the Patila civilization will be the turtle in the urn, and the entire river system belongs to him. With Patila's small chassis, what can he use to fight him? As long as this launch is successful, Chen Mo believes that the planetary fortress in front of him will be destroyed by itself. Infect the entire galaxy in an instant, and then obtain billions of creatures, and then, infect and control the will of the planet. At that time, Chen Mo's star soul will be extremely powerful. The entire river system will be his world. At that time, he must be promoted to a high-level star god. This idea of a secret weapon is also where Chen Mo's confidence lies. Although the minions under his command can continue to jump and quickly infect other life planets, they always rely on physical actions, and there is a limit after all. But his halo array with the evolution number as the core is different. Relying on the infinite energy of Nether's core, he can use energy infection to increase the scope and ability of his own infection almost without limit. It can be said that the star gods are still in the era of legion battles, and Chen Mo has entered the use of the rules of the universe, and has begun to reduce dimensionality and strike general crushing battles. The enemy doesn't even know where the attack is coming from. They can't even read it. It is only known that there is terrible infection energy, and it is rare that everything in the entire river system begins to be infected with mutations. Even if the rich god is not infected, but suddenly outside his shelter, all organic matter, even the existing gene fragments, have Chen Mo's mushroom race. Once the opportunity is ripe, it will be conceived. As long as the activation is successful once, Chen Mo's strength will increase dramatically. 0. Based on this, how could Chen Mo fear the competition from other star gods? The fighting methods used by the two are not at the same level at all. If the star gods manually harvested the remaining civilizations with a sickle, Chen Mo is a combine harvester, driving all the way, and the harvest is full. Therefore, Chen Mo is looking forward to the rapid expansion of the strength of the star gods. In this way, his next plan will become more profitable. That is to let other star gods join his sacred system. And, after becoming a member of parliament, gain more powerful power. The gains here are actually directly linked to the star gods and the vast number of star soul powerhouses. The stronger they are, the more they will gain. After gaining enough strength from here, he will become even stronger. Naturally, it can calmly face the attack from the Dimension Devourer. Chen Mo doesn't want to weaken the power he can take over in the future because of internal fighting with the star soul world. You must know that these people are the powerful cornerstones of the star soul world. He also didn't want to hurt himself and had to bear it, and everyone didn't contribute. What he wants is the power of the entire star soul world, and then defeat the devourer of dimensions, and the fate of Goddess Luck who keeps fleeing, and completely reverse the universe. Through a large number of engineers and infection control, you have analyzed most of the knowledge of the Nisar Core 0.8 core, and you have sorted out the key advanced materialist knowledge from it, energy zone networking. Ding. Through the knowledge of energy network Taoization, the evolutionary system deduces the evolution chance of the energy gene, whether to consume a large amount of evolution medicine, use the evolution number as the evolution sample, and start the evolution. The probability of evolution success is 99%. With the continuous increase of Chen Mo's power, the use of consciousness can already change and distort many realities. The probability of evolution is almost full directly. And engineers can always research the required knowledge. And hardly bothered. Incredibly fast. This time, I hope to evolve the energy gene to the extreme. Enter a whole new realm. Evolve immediately. Chen Mo didn't hesitate at all. Chapter 436 Brand New Evolution Concept, Ghost Spores. One more. Boom. With Chen Mo confirmed, the entire evolution was shocked suddenly, and then the whole thing stopped. At the same time, the opened infection radiation force field also suddenly closed. The energy network channel is also unable to connect. The huge eyeballs also slowly closed. All kinds of radiant light overflowing from it began to converge. From the outside, it seemed that the entire evolution had stopped running in an instant. But Chen Mo is very clear that there is a terrifying energy brewing inside. Especially near Nesser's core, terrifying radiation raged here. A large amount of energy was born out of thin air, and then absorbed by the creeps beside it. A large amount of evolution medicine is also being absorbed. There are also tons of tellurium ore, millions of tons of high-energy crystal ore, and about 10 tons of manganese ore. Especially the manganese ore, which is the last stock that Chen Mo searched in the area of Tianshan Temple, most of which have been put into this evolution. Chen Mo is watching evolution. But at 30, the entire evolution suddenly stopped moving. But it caused an uproar. For a moment, everyone was shocked. Padala civilization looked confused. The star gods from all walks of life also looked shocked. Even Luo Bing looked at Chen Mo in surprise. Chen Mo has watched too many scenes of evolution, but I have to say that this scene is the biggest and consumes a lot of resources, which is also very scary. In order to maintain suitable evolutionary conditions, Chen Mo consumed a lot of precious materials. This evolution, the time required is so short. Feeling the progress of evolution, Chen Mo couldn't help but smile. It saved him from waiting. The longer the evolution time, the more it will delay his next battle evolution. Because the entire Nisur core is the main material for evolution. This evolution must be perfect, pushing energy genes to a whole new level. Chen Mo whispered to himself. This is a blessing to myself. A dream come true. Next, Chen Mo also focused on evolution. With a strong will, pay attention to let him accelerate his evolution while improving his accuracy. In an instant, the creeps around Nisur's core shone brightly, almost energized. Chen Mo could feel that the growth gene seemed to have improved to a certain extent. Maybe it is not impossible to let the mushroom spread and grow directly in the void in the future. Recombination can be transmitted through energy. Isn't it necessary to evolve into an energy creature? Speaking of energy creatures, Chen Mo suddenly rang out his previously improved ghost cannon, which can produce a large amount of energy life. Wouldn't it be great to combine ghost characteristics with mushrooms to evolve ghost spores? Just thinking about it, Chen Mo felt that this would be invincible. At least in the void, it will be quite a terrifying existence, because in the void, there is no matter, and various energies that only exist but are unnecessary. Not long after, the entire evolution was bursting again. The huge closed eyeballs opened again, and boundless darkness emerged from the vertical pupils. Looking at it from a distance, it makes people feel dizzy, and there is a terrifying feeling that something is about to grow inside the body. Amazing. Luo Bing stood on the sacred terra the whole time, watching the miraculous changes in support from Chen Mo's perspective. She said with a face full of surprise, "Is this the process of you cultivating races and upgrading their abilities?" Chen Mo nodded, and said casually, "It's almost the same as you use the race training pool. In fact, I also need a special evolution area, but it's not limited to the reincarnation pool. At the same time, if any useful ability is cultivated, I can immediately use it, synchronized to all individuals." Sync to all individuals. Luo Bing stared at Chen Mo with wide eyes. She is a little hard to understand. What does this mean? Everyone, all have this ability. Chen Mo nodded. Well, it's what you think. Synchronous ability. As long as one individual acquires a certain ability, with me as the core, I can immediately spread this ability to all individuals, even memory, experience, combat skills, etc., can all be transferred. Of course, Chen Mo didn't say that. In fact, consciousness can also be transferred. But even with reservations, Luo Bing was also amazed. This is too powerful, it is an invincible race. Her own angelic race. She thought it was already very strong. She was born with many talents, even with a half-energy body. Who knows, the other party can acquire talents, and it is not limited to one. That is to say, as long as there is one genius individuals, entire races benefit directly. One person fights monsters, the whole family upgrades. That's how it feels. Generally speaking, she would just call this cheating. It's outrageous. This moment, Luo Bing finally understood why Chen Mo had so many powerful god-level minions under Chen Mo's command, and how these guys of different races managed to get along well with each other, and their fighting skills were so powerful. It turned out that they were not cultivated one by one at all, but pasted and copied directly. As soon as it comes out, it comes with 1,000 years of ancestor fighting skills. How does this compare? As soon as he came out, he immediately obtained all the talents of the strongest in the clan, even if they were acquired the day after tomorrow. No wonder Chen Mo is so powerful. Just relying on this point, the potential for unlimited growth is enough to crush everyone in the Star Soul world. Chen Mo said with a smile. 173. I didn't tell you before, don't be afraid of the competition within the Star Soul world. The stronger the other star gods, the better. The resources required for growth are terrifying, but the effect is also leaps and bounds. If I have enough resources and enough knowledge for my reference, I can grow faster. Although the consumption of resources is terrifying, these things are originally used for consumption. There is no point in destroying things that cannot be transformed into combat power. That's why I don't engage in too many internal operations of Star Soul World, or financial matters. For me, time is money. At the same time, when resources are sufficient, my need for money is actually very ordinary. I see. Luo Bing nodded and looked at Chen Mo with admiration. If it was her, she would never be able to be so calm. Because so many resources have been invested, all of which are used to show strength, in case of setbacks in battle, wouldn't it be a heavy loss? What's more, if you make a careless move, you will lose everything. Looking at it now, Chen Mo really has been investing all his resources, leaving no room for himself at all. Thinking of this, she couldn't help admiring him even more. Perhaps it is precisely because of this that Chen Mo is so powerful. It is worth learning from her. Chapter 437 Star Soul World, The Power of Collective Ascension. 2 more. As for other Star Soul Masters, why not learn from Chen Mo? What a joke, race doesn't have this ability at all. God knows how this magical race, Chen Mo, was cultivated. What's more, it's so convenient to transform and evolve. And according to Chen Mo's tone, his way of evolution is unique. That is, she has only heard of Chen Mo here. One alone carves a path. Think about how hard it is. Generally, people will consider this when they reach the star god level, but Chen Mo, from the very beginning, decided to take a unique path. This pattern alone has already killed the rest of the people in seconds. Ding. The deduction and evolution has been completed. The high energy gene has been evolved again, reaching the ultimate high energy gene, and the energy gene has been deduced. Combined with the high energy and energy genes and the advanced knowledge energy network, now your mushrooms can directly manipulate energy, and at the same time, all your mushroom individuals can start to build up by growing energy cores, energy network. This ability ignores distance. Ignore the distance. Relying on this energy core organ, wouldn't it be possible to extend my energy network to an infinite distance in an instant? And even better, relying on this ability, I have partially bypassed Neser's core knowledge system. This is my unique ability. Even if the goddess of starlight obtains the knowledge of Neser's core, she can't ignore distance like me. If you want to ignore distance, you must voluntarily install mushrooms on your own race, the energy core. Chen Mo scanned the attributes. Feeling this brand new ability, a smile could not help but appear on the corner of his mouth. This is really good luck. With this ability, the next plan can be perfectly implemented. The entire Patila fortress, no, the entire river system, will be under my attack range. My legion of gods will be able to connect to the energy network channel in the entire river system, and it will be invincible directly. With an idea, Chen Mo ordered the production line to speed up, and at the same time put in more engineers. He needed to create more halos, preferably all infection control, and then grow the required halos on the designated planet. Until then, just thinking about it makes Chen Mo very excited. On the side, Luo Bing saw the evolution restarting. Can't help but be surprised. This is the end. Take a closer look. This time the evolution number seems to be a little different from before. Energy spillage is less serious. No, it should be said that it is getting lower and lower. Luo Bing couldn't help staring. Just as she was speaking, the violent eyeballs lost that kind of energy, whether it was in a state of being out of control, overflowing, but instead the entire pupil looked deep and frightening. Makes the scalp tingle. There is a terrible feeling of facing the bottomless abyss. It's scary. Just one battleship of Chen Mo gives such a sense of oppression. If ordinary creatures see it, it is almost the same as looking directly at the gods. I'm afraid it will collapse and die in an instant. Good. Chen Mo nodded slightly, and said, if there is no accident, I will soon promote my energy network channel. I will officially promote it. All people who join my sacred system can choose to use it. The charging model is also determined by how much energy is used as changed to charging according to time. Go to the energy network road and immediately gain god-level combat power. Chen Mo has it all figured out. In short, this time, it absolutely shocked the entire Star Soul world. As for why the evolution has become less irritable, the reason is very simple, because the infinite energy inside it was instantly distributed to the legions all over the universe. The overall strength of Chen Mo's army is skyrocketing. At the same time, the biological shields in their bodies also began to be activated all the time. This consumes a lot of energy, which makes the evolution number more stable, and does not need to periodically spray energy around. For a moment, Lu Bing was stunned. I'm a bit confused. What's the situation? It's fully promoted so soon. I didn't say it before, but I still need to improve it. Is this okay? And what does it mean that everyone can use it? The evolution number is here. Can the other 10 people in the Star Soul world use it? Teleport energy regardless of distance. For a moment, Luo Bing didn't dare to think about it. If this is the case, wouldn't the collective strength of her legion have soared a lot? If she also has this ability, she doesn't need infinite energy, and she can use it for 30 minutes in each battle, and she will be alive every second. Unfortunately, she can't. This unbelievable ability, only Chen Mo can. What's weird is that he can attach this ability to other races. Isn't this forcing others to kneel and lick? Wu, fortunately, I am already Chen Mo's person. Luo Bing couldn't help feeling thankful that she didn't have to worry too much. Does this count as winning at the starting point? In other words, hug the thigh. Luo Bing came back to his senses, looked at Chen Mo, and said with emotion, I probably know your ability. I believe that the energy network channel will become the symbol of the entire Star Soul world, just like the portal and the Requiem features. One of the cornerstones are deeply imprinted into the laws of the world. With such welfare knowledge, I am afraid that countless people will kneel and lick you. Star Soul world, everyone is united and cooperative. Kneeling and licking is not my goal. What I need is to influence thousands of people. Chen Mo said with a smile. It is the best for everyone to join my sacred system. This will benefit the entire Star Soul world. At that time, our strength Wang Jiao will be further strengthened. Of course, mostly enhancing mine. When the time comes, what's yours will be mine too. Chen Mo silently added another sentence in his heart. At this moment, his strength has grown to a certain level. Even if he thinks about this problem in his heart, he is no longer afraid. As a reserve member, this should also be something he needs to think about. What kind of model should the future of Star Soul world be? At this moment, Chen Mo finally has some strength and can make his own suggestions. Really? Congratulations. Luo Bing couldn't help but smile in his eyes. She could say that she witnessed the birth of a strong man. Such a terrifying ability is enough to overturn the entire structure of the Star Soul world. As for the Patila civilization, this will be a stepping stone for Chen Mo. Chapter 438 Ascension of the Family, Build a Fortress of Ascension. One more. Now that it has evolved the ability to extract energy from the energy network regardless of distance, then there is no need to use the evolution number to advance. Not long after, Chen Mo's army left the surroundings of the evolution. Speed up towards Patila Fortress. At the same time, the energy grid is also fully operational. Ever since, the universe's starry sky has changed. The stars seem to fill the entire sky. It gives people the feeling that at that moment, countless supernova explosions occurred. Legion of gods, take shape. In an instant, Chen Mo obtained billions of god legions. Of course, this is only around the evolution number. There are more legions that are joining the battlefield. I have a large number of legions on the fortress and other planets, and the total number is about 5 billion. That is, the number of my god-level combat units is as high as tens of billions, which is more than the total number of 530 individuals in many civilizations combined. Horrible. Even Chen Mo was shocked by this data. In one day, tens of billions of gods and spirits can be obtained, and every day thereafter, the number can be increased by at least 100 million, and intermediate and even high-level gods will continue to be born. Who would believe this kind of thing? Imagine, even if this kind of information is obtained by any fourth-level civilization, they can't believe it is true, because the data is so fake that you can't prove how true it is. Of course, if someone believed it, they would only be terrified. After all, go at this speed. As long as Chen Mo is given a little time, the number of god-level legions under his command will soon break through to hundreds of billions. A year later, this number will be at least 1 trillion, or even more. Because the number of Chen Mo's army grows, it is not linear, but exponential growth. The longer the time daddy goes, the faster the growth rate, the more terrifying Chen Mo's army of gods will be. Until the entire universe is swept away. Immediately afterwards, Chen Mo thought of a way to incorporate the entire bastion into the energy grid. The original magic energy core continues to be used, but most of the energy is absorbed from the energy network channel by the energy core that grows later. The endless energy allowed the bastion to undergo a qualitative change. Originally, it was necessary to continuously devour matter in order to generate energy, but at this moment, it is completely unnecessary. With the energy force field at the cell level and the dark sky, the defensive power of the entire bastion is exactly on par with that of the evolution. At this moment, the combat effectiveness of the two planet-level fortresses has been improved. According to Chen Mo's estimate, Hachan has reached the level of a great god. Of course, the energy intensity is even higher than that. The only thing that makes Chen Mo feel pity is that he chose the energy gene to break through, and the effect is really extraordinary. But correspondingly, the space gene cannot evolve. This made Chen Mo have to wait patiently for the next opportunity to evolve. Of course, with the variety of evolutionary opportunities, Chen Mo had to wonder if the next time he was waiting was this evolutionary opportunity. I can only say that it depends on luck. Fortunately, the evolutionary direction chosen by the deduction evolutionary system is the most useful at the moment, and even the farthest potential route. Therefore, if the ability of his heart and mind never appears, he is not too entangled. Anyway, devouring evolution is over. By the way, the two basic genes of growth gate and phagocytosis have not been enhanced for a long time. Chen Mo couldn't help but look forward to it. Because generally speaking, after a few rounds of evolution, there will often be a leap evolution, and the entire mushroom race will have a qualitative change, and the growth ability will continue to improve, and finally grow directly in the void, or grow into the appearance of an energy mushroom, directly energized. Chen Mo recalled the idea that was born just now. In that case, it will definitely be very scary. That's not just evolution. Chen Mo feels that it has reached the stage where the whole family's genes are soaring. Of course, this is just Chen Mo's own speculation. He is not sure whether to follow such an evolutionary route. But according to his speculation, it is really possible. And this round of evolution once again verified some of his conjectures. His abilities are really getting closer to concepts and rules. It is entirely possible to realize the conceptualization of growth, or even swallowing. For example, the most powerful mushroom grows in knowledge. Together with the knowledge created by Chen Mo, it will be passed on from generation to generation. Whoever acquires this knowledge is, in consciousness, infected with mushrooms. Then I won't be the evil mushroom god anymore. Thinking of this, Chen Mo couldn't help complaining. But for this matter, he is still very much looking forward to it. I hope that in the follow-up devouring evolution, we can notice races or creations with similar abilities. Join the Ascension project. It can be merged into the energy network channel to obtain unlimited energy. In the field of energy, realize the ascension of the whole family. Chen Mo directly advertised. This time, Chen Mo made a lot of fuss. Directly use eye-catching vocabulary, Ascension. At the same time, he also renamed the bastion to Ascension Bastion. Take this as another core of the energy network channel, and make every effort to build a fortress of ascension. All those who join his divine plan can choose to join the Ascension plan. Gain unlimited power through Ascension Fortress. For a time, Ascension Fortress was discussed by countless people. Chapter 439 Achievement of a High-Level Star God. Shock the world of Star Soul. 2 more. At the same time, Chen Mo released part of the data of the Bastion for publicity purposes. Of course, there must be a huge difference from the detailed data he saw himself. At this time, the fortress was already very terrifying. Chen Mo glanced at the data. Ascension Fortress. Origin. One of the products of the path of genetic ascension, the Sacred Terra biological mothership, the manufacturer Chen Mo. Equipment. 10 giant tentacles, high-energy weapons, material extraction devices, giant magic heart, gravity core, Nesser core, portal connecting to the main planet, giant electromagnetic gun, dark eye under perfection, dark sky, requiem, halo array production line, ghost cannon, energy core connected to energy network. Description. The gigantic planet-level creation has been fully activated at present. With the blessing of the planet's will, it has almost unlimited space for transformation and evolution. According to current data, it can achieve the highest level and monopolize a certain concept currently with contact energy and network concept. Next upgrade. It is expected to require stronger growth and swallowing abilities, a large number of various ores, and advanced space knowledge, dimension knowledge, blessing. Remarks. With the support of the energy network channel, there is no limit to the energy supply of the bastion, so it can cast the strongest magic judgment and cellular level energy shield at any time, without any preparation in advance. On the road to becoming supreme and monopolizing a certain concept, Ascension Fortress has taken the first step. Currently, I have come into contact with infinite energy. This should be the most comprehensive and powerful weapon I have seen so far. In addition to the Ascension Fortress, I have another evolution number. Because of the special interior, the evolution number cannot make too many changes, but it should be able to go further on the road of evolution, energy infection, etc., and become a very distinctive planet, class battleship. With the positioning of the Ascension Fortress, it is suddenly used as a functional and energy supplement. Such two powerful weapons have increased by billions of minions. In the Star Soul world, who can compete with me for the attention of the world law? At this moment, Chen Mo is in a good mood. It has never been so powerful before, and various situations are extremely beneficial to him. Omnipotent Great Divine Will, our strength is stronger. On the bastion, countless garrisoned engineers prostrated themselves on the ground one after another. They gained endless power by counting into the energy network channel. This is really great for them. After all, they specialize in the art industry, and they are not good at fighting, but with more strength, it is easy to improve work efficiency. On the side, Luo Bing, who had been observing Chen Mo carefully, was completely dumbfounded. Chen Mo's debt-issuing war zone channel, as well as his magnificent battleship, all shocked her heart. Especially when the hundreds of millions of creatures were all prostrate on the ground, piously saying, "The omnipotent great divine will," she really felt a force from it. Different from faith. Some sort of bizarre stance. In short, reality has been distorted and interfered with. Chen Mo has really become omnipotent for this, and it is not impossible. If there is no accident, Chen Mo should become a member of parliament. If Chen Mo can't become a member, I think there must be something wrong with the mechanism of Star Soul world. In short, his potential in the future should be everyone, or all forces. Among them, the most powerful. Actually, other than himself, he is only a middle-level star god. His influence should soon be comparable to that of a member of parliament. Infinite energy, ascension plan, this plan is really crazy. Luo Bing thought to himself. For a moment, she completely surrendered to Chen Mo, and the idea of hugging her thigh tightly became stronger. Uncompromising. Chen Mo, I can't see your new words. Involuntarily, Luo Bing remembered that a Star Soul Master once said so. If the other party practiced this concept, they should be under 1 person and above 10,000 people now. Of course, that warrior may have to wait a little longer. After all, Chen Mo is not yet a member of parliament, so he is not considered the strongest. It can only be said that he is about to become the strongest. At this time, Chen Mo's army also began to enter the world. God-level minions, who can stop them? The entire Padilla family combined is not as much as half of Chen Mo's minions. Even, the average strength is weaker than Chen Mo's. Of course, at this time, it also reflects the efficiency of the god-level minions, even if it is just a hydralisk or a green skin, as long as the space is torn apart, it will appear in the sky above a planet. In just a few minutes, the surname was Chen. Ever since, Chen Mo decisively adopted this strategy of breaking things down into parts. After all, ordinary planets are originally protected by the will of the planet, so Chen Mo can do whatever he wants. What's more, the Patila civilization is also on guard against his move. But now, this trick has become extremely efficient. A god-level minion is extremely destructive to a planet when it is not afraid of sacrifice and is covered with energy shields from the inside to the outside. At this moment, Chen Mo's ability to violently invade other planets has been improved both in quantity and quality. Massive consciousness began to be harvested. The Chen Mo infection is invading planet after planet. His star soul is rapidly becoming stronger. Thus, while Luo Bing was stunned, Chen Mo's own strength began to skyrocket. Intermediate star gods are not enough. Intermediate star god pinnacle. Senior star god. The next moment, the entire holy Terra boiled. 0 for flowers. Countless mermaids and snake girls all sang in unison. They sensed changes from the rapidly expanding star realm. The great divine will is even stronger. Watch the transformations throughout holy Terra. And the War Zone channel, amazing variety of reports. Then look at Chen Mo who has an amazing breath. Hiss. Luo Bing gasped. Is this a high-level star god? Doesn't it mean that Chen Mo has officially started to compete for membership? Even, his apparent strength has surpassed that of the goddess of starlight, and without the slightest controversy, he has become the #1 star god. You can't refute anything without compliance. Such a promotion speed scared Luo Bing into a fool. In front of her, without any warning, Chen Mo evolved his race, transformed his weapons, proposed the Ascension Plan, and then, he himself became a high-level star god. One step further, there are members of parliament. One of the most powerful people in the entire Star Soul world, not the entire universe. Patila War Zone. At this time, the entire battlefield environment has changed drastically. Looking in front of him, the starlight suddenly exploded, and there were about 5 billion more god-level legions. Inside the Patila fortress, the commander was frightened. Boom. Excited, the cup in his hand was directly crushed. This. How to fight this? He looked around, and the commanders of the major armies also looked at him. For a moment, a terrifying silence permeated the air. But on the Star Soul World Network, it was completely boiling. Holy Terra has announced a plan. Project Ascension. It is the craziest plan in the history of Star Soul World. As long as you join Chen Mo's system, you can go to the Ascension Fortress for transformation. After the transformation, you can access the energy network completely without barriers. From then on, you can realize the cover at the genetic level, and your genes will soar. Become a race of unlimited energy. Everyone can own the Legion of Gods. Crazy. How can that be? It must be fake news. Patila's civilization seems to be unable to withstand it. All of a sudden, the entire internet was full of news about Chen Mo. Someone believed in the plan. But most people are still watching. It's not that I don't believe it. The world of Star Soul uses knowledge as a commodity, and most people are quite rational and full of logic. It's just, Chen Mo's plan is really crazy. And the benefits are too great. So much so that it feels unreal. Unbelievable scoop. Chapter 440. Patila Sector. Fierce Battle. One more. Patila Star Area. The battle reached its most intense level in an instant. A large number of warships exploded in the air. Countless corpses floated in the universe, revolving around the planet, forming a ring of corpses. In the face of the attack from the tens of billions of gods, the Patila civilization couldn't resist it at all. A large number of gods have died in battle, and even the entire legion has perished. But they did not retreat. Because this time, Chen Mo's attack was indiscriminate. The entire Patila civilization is under attack. For the Patila civilization, the consequences of this collision with Chen Mo were so serious that they had a feeling that they were about to exterminate the entire family. Of course, this is not an illusion. This time, they absolutely crushed it. For a moment, they panicked and felt heartbroken that they hadn't run away resolutely in 143. On the contrary, those cosmic beings who ran away ahead of time gloated. Of course, they were also terrified to see them, so they sped away. It's unbelievable why our strength gap is so big. Suddenly, our defense line collapsed. From the inside to the outside, my channel is full of cries for help, and there is no place. Don't those damn mushrooms exist? The number is too large to be counted, and according to our calculations, their energy levels are frighteningly high, which is too abnormal. Some of their minions don't even have organs for ingesting substances. They have mastered some kind of terrible energy transmission technology. Especially that huge biological battleship. I wonder if it was remodeled by an evil god's corpse. From that big eyeball, I even saw the shadow of the evil god. No, it's weirder than that. I've never seen this kind of technique. Their erosion of matter is terrifying. Through matter, they are frantically interfering with consciousness. We will soon become a civilization without foundation. We must take back the planet immediately. No, there's no hope. Let's run. These minions feel like a terrible civilization with Gestalt developed to the limit. But flesh and blood, matter affect consciousness, can it really be so powerful? Damn, you are still analyzing and analyzing here, it's useless. This is an extremely complicated army of terrible minions. The technologies you mentioned may not be worth mentioning inside them, and they cannot confront the slave owners head on. No matter how we analyze it, it is wrong. We have suffered heavy losses, and a large number of fortresses are falling, and we are almost unable to hold back. On the fortress planet in the Patila sector, news is spreading everywhere. Facing the tide-like turbulent mutant army, they can only temporarily resist it with terrifying firepower. However, it is said that it is the tide, even if most of it is blocked, a lot of water is poured in. For a while, the front of the battleship may still be firing like a slave master's legion, while the rear may have grown mushrooms, and brutal hand-to-hand combat has begun. A little carelessness can completely infect an area. No, it should be said that caution is useless. Because the battleships under your feet, and the planets farther away, will grow tentacles, rot, and become dilapidated, and then explode pustules, with a large number of spores flying out of them. In the eyes of the Patila civilization, what they are fighting against is no legion, it is simply the entire material world. Except that one's own energy and consciousness are temporarily controlled by oneself, the rest of the things seem to have mutated. The whole world is falling into a frenzy of incomparably terrifying and crazy mutations. Especially for evolution, there are distortion rays emitted from the eyeball. Roar, hiss. The next moment, the entire fortress of the Patala civilization collapsed into countless flesh and blood monsters. Yes, a whole super weapon was directly broken down into various flesh and blood wriggling pieces. And these will soon be replenished into Chen Mo's army. After a few days, they may be spotted by a certain consciousness, become a car, and then continue to upgrade and improve. Immediately afterwards, with the strength of the consciousness body, this body became stronger and stronger, and finally, with the support of the energy network, he ascended to become a member of the Legion of the Gods. It disintegrated and mutated into various moving flesh and blood, followed by a large-scale requiem cleansing. This way of death is extremely terrible for the Patala civilization, because it's destroying every trace of them, including the most important disturbances of consciousness. In other words, if you die, you are really dead. Even if the subsequent Patila civilization wins, it is impossible to revive them. 0. This is much more vicious than ordinary wars. Do not. I don't want to die. I will fight with you, I will never perish. The gods of the Patala civilization were directly furious, fighting desperately with the Legion. But this is on the boundless battlefield, not a single drop of water can be splashed. More people were directly swept away by the requiem, and their entire consciousness was disintegrated. There are also those who leapt from the Patila civilization, and then jumped to other places, and then blew themselves up to death. In this case, their consciousness traverses the very distant rest, and cannot be completely cleared at all. The terrifying explosion was even more like a supernova explosion. Let Chen Mo's army be wiped out in large swaths. Even, several big holes were blown out of the entire evolution. But that's all. Before Patila cheered, those potholes grew again. There are blue rays of light circulating on it. Bio-force shield. It is simply impossible to disintegrate the structure of such a huge star-class battleship by means of mutual destruction. Even if the entire Patila civilization exploded itself, it would not work. Join the glorious evolution. Low-end creatures, your will is nothing at all. Oran said coldly. Without hesitation, she directed the Legion to move forward, and at the same time dispatched more legions to fill the gap. The loss of material. At this moment, the sacred 5.7 Terra can be ignored directly. Let go of your figure. Call out the divine will. Accept the instinct that surges in your heart. Join us. There was an extremely powerful warlord wielding a big stick, and the entire planet was blasted out of cracks. If it wasn't for collecting life planets, this blow would be enough to pierce through the stars. The self-explosion lost material, but not much. Let them go. The fourth-level civilization has already discarded most of the material, and piled up useless energy. Ash said to Oran, there is no need to affect your mood for this kind of thing. It's a pity that they can't directly convert energy into matter, otherwise, their legion will never be afraid of Patila civilization. Now, the other party can only bargain with Holy Terra by destroying the planet. Bargain with Holy Terra by destroying the planet. Bargain with